Hello, all guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the newest episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast, brought to you on YouTube, on Spotify, on Google, and Apple Podcasts. I'm Austin. I'm a knockout. Watched a lot of wrestling.
I'm David. I'm a noob. Haven't watched nearly as much wrestling, and knowing the subject of what we're gonna cover starting today, I have made sure to appropriately pregame. I'm nice and wasted right now. I'm like 10 twisties deep. As I think is thematically appropriate for the man we are here to discuss today.
It's time for our first arc with the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah. So I've talked about this a little bit before, but I really want to reiterate that the Ultimate Warrior, even though we have seen him now pop up once or twice, and we talked about him a little more, he he's like this enigma of wrestling to me, where the first time I saw people ever referencing him was when we went to the Detroit house show for WWE, and I saw like a sign that had like the Ultimate Warrior face paint on it, and I thought it was a Sting reference. Um, so like,
Funny.
and it was like this slow, like I started to see that pattern pop up, and I'm like, no way, and fuck that Sting. Why would all these WWE people mark out for Sting when he was with the company for like maybe a year and a half? So I slowly started to learn about Ultimate Warrior, and like, I guess he's some phenomenon because everyone insists on constantly referencing him always, and I've seen barely anything of him. And we've talked a little bit about why he's a phenomenon, and I get a little bit why he's a phenomenon, but I've never really experienced it until now.
We will experience the power of the warrior.
Yeah, I want to see. Well, my quest during this arc, and you'll explain in a second what the arc is, but I want to set up from the bat. My quest during this arc is one of discovery. I want to discover why the Ultimate Warrior. Why is this man in particular, who I know fuck all about, and who a lot of times doesn't seem to be included in a lot of like big mainstream discussions on at least none that I've seen. Like I don't see him featured on that many parts unknown listicles. I don't like people. I don't hear people talk about Ultimate Warrior in the way I hear people talk about Hogan or Hart or Foley or like any one of that or Flair. Like I want to discover how this man who in some ways seems to be of such a lower echelon than a lot of like the big legends of the industry, why he still stands as such an icon.
You know, the Warriors was a flame that burned bright and burned fast.
Mm.
Um, he pops up in the WWE in early 1988. Um, he famously is the one who squashes the Honky Tonk Man in about 12 seconds to end the Honky Tonk Man's then record-breaking and still record length today Intercontinental Championship run.
Oh shit.
Hopefully that won't age too poorly as Gunter comes very close to the Honky Tonk Man's mark.
See, but the thing is, Gunter holding that, breaking that record would be really based. So
It
I'll
would.
allow it.
So let's hope. If this ages poorly in a few months, that's fine. But
Yeah, you'd
then
love to
the
see it.
longest reigning Intercontinental Champion ever, and then he holds the belt through 88, 88, and 89. And then in 1990, where we're coming at today, he is on a collision course with to face the WWF champion Hulk Hogan.
So my one question for you, if you know the answer, where did they get Warrior from?
So Warrior basically was an amateur bodybuilder in the mid 80s. Of course he was. But
Ah,
he was found as many wrestlers in the 80s were. They were found in a gym somewhere.
wait, really?
Yes, a significant number of wrestlers have stories that go, I was just working out one day and my workout buddy said, "Hey, bro, I think you'd be good at pro wrestling. I know a place you can go train."
And gave him fucking Vincent K. McMahon's card. Okay.
Not so quick to that. First,
Okay.
he spent a small amount of time in Memphis, I believe, as
Oh
well
shit.
as well as in world class championship wrestling down in Dallas, where he was paired up in a tag team with the man called Sting as a tag
Oh,
team known
oh
as
shit.
the Blade Runners.
Oh fuck, we talked about this, and that's because that's my theory about why
They
his
have
makeup
a
is the way it
similar face
is.
paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Memphis was one of the bigger markets of the day, right?
Yes, it was. It was one of the bigger. It was one of the bigger territories, and kind of like the one of the few territories that was never truly conquered by Vince McMahon.
Oh, really?
It kind of just died. It died. I think it just kind of died out on its own, especially as Jerry Lawler started getting more work in WWF.
In WWF.
But
Yup,
but
yup.
like the biz WWF never really supplanted the business in like tennis in the Memphis area. Like it was never like for a lot of these places, WWF kind of reached higher heights than a lot of the territories did, just by nature
Mhm.
of being like, and they were, but Memphis was not one of those places. WCW country is still kind of
Yeah.
WCW country, even
Mhm.
today. But yeah, he spent a short time in Memphis, and he spent a short time in with a tag team in the Blade Runners with Sting. It's basically a situation of like everybody kind of saw Warrior's physique and realized he had bigger star potential than a
Yeah.
tag team with Sting.
Yeah, because like this, he does look like just one giant moving muscle.
Yes, and is
That much I
why
do know about him.
it's why within 2 years of starting wrestling, Vince found him snapped him up. Is
Mhm.
again, is this kind of a situation of like it's one of those things where like his in-ring work is shit. And I think part of why it is shit is because everyone saw his physique and immediately said, make this guy a top guy.
Yeah, and nobody was like, "Oh, we don't need to train him. He physically
Like, look,
looks
look at
good."
him. It's fine.
Yes. Yeah. Which I mean, back then could let you like you could coast on that.
You can do all right for yourself like that.
I mean, technically, you still can if you work for Vince McMahon in the year of our Lord 2023. You know, in theory, you still kind of can. But
it's not like it was back in the
yeah,
day.
yep.
And his name, the Ultimate Warrior, by the way, that kind of comes from the fact that in Dallas when he was in World Class, he was going by the Dingo Warrior, again part of the Blade Runner, kind of the Blade Runner shtick. And then Vince got him, and he's like, "What the fuck's a dingo?" And got a better name, the Ultimate Warrior.
What the fuck is a dingo? Vince McMahon so sealed inside of his own bubble, even by the 1988, that he doesn't know like what the fuck a slightly non-American dog is. And actually, okay, I don't know the full history of dingoes in America, but as someone whose parents have a Carolina dog, which is a North American dingo dog, like I feel like even not knowing an 88, and also like there's some famous pop culture references like a dingo ate my baby. So like even that, so it legitimately is kind of impressive. I think that even in 88, Vince is like, what the fuck is a dingo?
Yeah, all right. So here's the Wikipedia page about this. There's a whole like 4 sentences about this particular issue.
Oh, that's how you
Uh,
know it's important.
there is a dispute over who created the full Ultimate Warrior name. Bruce Pritchard stated that Vince McMahon did not know what a dingo warrior was, but because there was the modern day warrior, Kerry Von Erich, and the Road Warriors, there should not be one more simple warrior, but the ultimate warrior.
Okay,
Warrior
Vince.
Warrior claimed after one of his first matches, McMahon had him do a pre-tape promo. It was there Vince said, "We want you to do Warrior, but we don't want Dingo." The Warrior then proceeded to cut the promo and say he was not this Warrior or that Warrior. He was the Ultimate Warrior.
Okay. So kind of effectively. So like it's basically a game of telephone with the origin story.
Yeah, effectively the same idea, but depending on who was the one who physically came up with the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, that's fair. It's probably and knowing stories like this, probably a little column A, little column B, right? Yeah.
Oh, probably. But he comes into the WWF in 87, late 88, early 88. And he's on this collision course with Hogan. I don't want to say too much about how that goes because that's the arc we're covering. In case you didn't know, is that we are doing the road to WrestleMania 6, Warrior versus Hogan.
Is WrestleMania 6 one of the bad ones? Is that one of the ones that's considered really stupid, or is that considered one of the good ones? Because I know, like, around this time,
I would consider it at middle of the road.
Okay.
Like, not
because I know,
some
of the I know once we get a few WrestleManias in, they start to get kind of infamous, but I don't know when that hits.
From that period of time, infamous WrestleManias include WrestleMania 2, WrestleMania 4, WrestleMania 7.
Okay.
WrestleMania 9. But, WrestleMania 6 is like middle of the road from what I remember, having watched all of them before. That was kind of my it was fine. It was a fine Mania. So again, that is where we're going leading into WrestleMania 6. He would proceed to stick around with the company until WrestleMania the first time he quits the company is at SummerSlam 91, a year and some change after WrestleMania 6. Where basically he believed that he should be paid Hogan money, and in fact threatened to not no-show SummerSlam if he was not paid
this story
money. And so Vince acquiesced. He went out there and had his match. That was Hogan and Warrior versus the Iraqi sympathizer crew.
Yup.
The match made in heaven and the match made in hell.
Yep.
And then Ultimate Warrior came backstage from the match, and Vince said, "You're fucking fired."
You're fired.
However, the thing is Warrior has always been a merch draw. He's always been an entertaining personality, especially to kids, and so he has gotten so many opportunities. Hell, he makes a return at WrestleMania 8 in 92. Months later, he makes this return.
Oh my God.
To save Hogan from a beatdown.
Holy shit.
And then he bounces again by Summer Survivor Series that same year. Admittedly, this was a situation of like the steroid issue was starting to crop up. We got to get rid of all these people who are so very
including Hogan. Oh shit!
This is when Hogan was getting pushed out.
This is the Nexus point.
The new generation.
Oh, fuck! Okay, I didn't realize fucking Warrior stood at such a Nexus point. Holy shit! Okay, baby.
And then he came back again in 1996. The WWF is very desperate in 96 as we are in the bowels of Monday
Night War
of the new generation, and the Monday Night War is starting up, and they're like, God, we get Warrior back in here. He's a draw. He's still
wasn't good. Warrior with WCW though?
Not yet.
Oh no!
Like, please,
no!
Warrior, please come back. We will let you do literally anything you want. They funded his stupid ass comic books that he wanted to do. You might have heard of this one because there was an issue where the Ultimate Warrior sodomizes Santa Claus. You might have heard of that.
I haven't. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's just but one moment in these insane comic book run, but they funded it because they're like, please, Warrior, please come back. And then he famously squashed Hunter Hearst Helmsley at WrestleMania 12.
Ow.
Absolutely.
Oof.
He took the pedigree and then immediately no-sold it and won.
What the? Wait. 80. Wait. Fuck. 94?
96. 96.
96. Oh, 96. Duh. Um. Wait. WrestleMania 6 was 80. Was 90 then?
1990, yes.
Oh, okay. I thought WrestleMania 6 was 88. Okay.
No, 88 is WrestleMania 4.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. I'm slightly messed up on the timeline then. Okay. 1990. So Triple H would be with the company by this point.
In
And
96, yes. And the
yeah.
Warriors squashed the shit out of him. And he then, because he was an obnoxious ass that nobody wanted to work with, he got fired again.
And
then he pops up in WCW for 2 months
That's it?
until he is an obnoxious ass that nobody wants to work with. But that is a story for another
time.
I assure you of that.
Oh boy.
But
2 months. Fucking hell.
I decided that we can't possibly just not start with, we have to see his most famous WWE storyline, which was,
so this is effectively all one giant prelude.
You could argue that. And then
motherfucker.
WWE buried the fuck out of Warrior for being an obnoxious ass that nobody liked to work with. In the 2000s, they made a documentary called The Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior.
Bro.
The kind of public dragging of which they rarely have ever done.
Okay. Well, we're good of a person. Let's not pretend like they're principled about like doing that with people.
I've watched the Self-Destruction DVD. It is literally an hour-long DVD of them getting everyone they could get to sit down and say that the Ultimate Warrior couldn't wrestle, was a one-trick pony, was a stupid asshole who nobody liked.
Oh my God.
And was a complete and professional flake because he got fired in 96 for no showing a weekend of house shows. For no discernible reason.
Fucking God.
But then in 2014, with the help of Triple H, the bridge had been mended with the Ultimate Warrior, and he was in 2014, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame the night before WrestleMania 30, and then famously, the Raw after WrestleMania 30, he comes to the ring and cuts this promo about the legacy of the Warrior and how the little Warriors will live on forever. And Tuesday after WrestleMania 30, the Ultimate Warrior would pass away from heart problems.
Oh, shit.
It has largely kind of been looked at as like, it seems like Warrior wanted to maybe make amends before he knew his time was running out.
Oh, shit.
Like, I don't have the full promo with me, but the Raw after Mania promo is ominous as fuck, with an understanding that he died the next night.
The next day. What the fuck? Dude, shit like that, like, not to get morbid, but like celebrities who do interviews or whatever, like right before they're passing, that's a subject that fascinates me. Because you have something like that, you have fucking Orson Welles, who did an interview like the day of his death. You have fucking Edgar Bergen, who did a show, the famous ventriloquist, who did a show the day he passed away. He did a show and was like, and it was like, I guess his retirement show, and he, his final words on the stage were like, friends, that's it for me, or whatever. And then like he passed away in his sleep. That like shit like that is so fucking weird. That must have rocked the entire wrestling community when that happened. Holy fuck.
Okay. This is the promo. I found at least some of like the part of the promo that's like, what the fuck? It's like you knew you were gonna die. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the Raw after Mania. No WWE talent becomes a legend on their own. Every man's heart one day beats its final beat. His lungs breathe their final breath. And if what that man did in his life makes the blood pulse through the body of others, it makes them bleed deeper and something larger than life, then his essence, his spirit, will be immortalized.
Holy shit. I mean, of all the last words to go out on, like A plus, but also what the fuck?
This is honestly, it was a little weird because it's like, why did Warrior come out and cut this promo? But as a promo, very on brand for the Warrior.
Oh
He's
yeah.
always saying shit like
Absolutely.
that.
Well, okay, to be fair, then, if he's always being like, one day I'm gonna die, like, at what point can you call it really a coincidence? At that point, it's just a statistical probability.
He doesn't always talk about dying, but he does always talk about insane shit like the blood, the essence of your blood, your spirit will come
I do
through the
appreciate what he's going for
Warriors.
there. I do appreciate what he's going for there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so this arc is kind of, now that we've gone through kind of the career trajectory of the Ultimate Warrior, I mean, other than that, I mean, in those years in between his WCW stint and his WWE stint, he got really into being a right-wing public speaker.
Well, yes.
Fantastic business. But
You hate to see it.
we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
And listen, we are Kane fans on this podcast, so we're already pretty good at separating out. I'm a fan of Kane, the character.
Yes, on a broad level, it does for me cut off at some point. When the mask is taken off, it cuts off a little bit. During Katie Vick, it cuts off a little bit. But like on a broad level, we are Kane appreciators.
So, I think I can appreciate the Warrior for what he is as a wrestling character.
Yes.
Good and bad, I'm sure we will see plenty of here.
Oh, I have no doubt. I somehow get the inkling.
But, okay, so this arc starts at the Royal Rumble, and what a lengthy prelude to say that tonight we will be watching the Royal Rumble from 1990.
Oh.
And so there was a 5-match card. We will be watching 3 of those matches as we once again are doing a 2-hour supercut of the Rumble. So
I love how you call them supercuts. Like that's Fed branding, but you're like, nah, fuck you, this is mine now.
Supercut.
Absolutely.
I like how it sounds.
It's got a nice ring to it. I ain't gonna deny you that. Absolutely not.
Yes, so let's cover the matches that will be on this pay-per-view and which ones we will and won't be watching. The first match of the show we will be watching, and in fact, I spent a long time debating whether to use this one or something else on the show, we'll be watching the Fabulous Rougeaus, Jacques and Ramon, take on the Bushwhackers. I felt like we could not, after the fucking smack 'em whack 'em, we had to watch a Bushwhackers match.
I think we legitimately have to. I want to know these hardcore legends, what they look like in a WWF ring.
Yeah, so basically none of the matches on this show have particularly strong stories that were presented. I watched the entirety of the January WWF television.
Oh no.
Found a VHS rip of these episodes of Primetime and WWF Superstars because obviously the week-to-week TV is not on Peacock in 1990.
Oh my god.
So this arc, we are going to be dealing with some questionable audio VHS rips on some of these episodes.
Friends, as always, give it up to the absolute fucking king of this podcast. The dedication knows no bounds. All hail. We are not worthy.
I'm not gonna say where I found that because I don't want to get any sort of attention to a small time YouTube channel that might be posting a lot of copyrighted shit they don't own.
Well, yes.
But anyway, I've watched the rips, and God,
Yes.
they didn't build any of these matches in a storyline.
No.
So I'll be honest with you. The first two matches on this card have backstory, apparently, but it's the only backstory I knew about it was reading the Wikipedia page for the Royal Rumble 1990. So here we go. The Bushwhackers made their WWF debut in Madison Square Garden on December 30th, 1988, defeating the Bolsheviks. That was Nikolai Volkov and Boris Zukov.
Oh, shit. Okay.
They got involved in a feud with the Bolsheviks, which was to be settled at WrestleMania 5. Bolsheviks missed the event, however, so they were replaced by the fabulous Rougeaus, whom the Bushwhackers beat. Bushwhackers and Rougeaus continued to feud with each other for the rest of the year, culminating in a tag team match at Royal Rumble 1990. All right.
Okay.
We will be watching that match. The next match on the show, and we will be watching that as well. Brutus the Barber Beefcake versus the genius Lanny Poffo. Lanny Poffo has both those guys popped up on our last time we were in an arc in this era.
Yes.
Brutus, you have to watch Brutus Beefcake's transformation into being the Barber. When at WrestleMania 3, he cut the hair of Adrian Adonis, I believe.
Yes, who's a gardener.
Yeah, and so now his gimmick is that he cuts people's hair, but he also carries around gardening shears as if that is what he is going to use to cut the hair.
Okay.
And
sure.
Lanny Poffo was Leaping Lanny Poffo, where he had a match against that one dude who was a red jobber in a red mask that was like 15 minutes long, and what I called the worst match ever seen on this podcast. And quite frankly, I still hold to that.
Fuck, I can't remember. Did I also hate that match, or was I less mean to it? I can't remember, but I remember that match.
I also hated it.
Okay. I remember it. I don't remember why I hated it, but I remember that image of him against this random ass like red mask dude.
But now he is turned heel and gone his gimmick that he is most famous. He is the genius, where he like dresses like a high school graduate, and he like speaks all his promos in limericks about how smart he is.
Wait, that's a heel. I thought that was a face gimmick for him. I thought Lanny Poffo was like pretty consistently face throughout his career.
No, he is pretty consistently heel, if anything. This is his most famous gimmick as the genius.
What? Oh, shit. Yeah, because I remember being like the genius or like him playing up that he's some kind of like savant. But I thought people liked him for it. Oh, well, fuck. Okay. Man, I'm so fucked up on this.
Well, now he is a smart guy who looks down on the idiots. So there
also,
you go.
I find it funny that like you're saying he dresses like a high school graduate when his fucking brother uses the high school graduation song as his entrance music.
Yeah, I never thought of that connection before now.
Well, because I don't know if anyone else like has really said he looked like a high school graduate, but like it variations on a theme,
Yeah, and he is right now aligned with Mr. Perfect, who is kind of in his
yes
peak in the WWF in terms of visibility and being a top guy. But more about Perfect in a bit as we get to the Rumble match and this feud between Brutus Beefcake and the Genius has in fact not existed at all, as instead Beefcake has been feuding with Rick the Model Martel the whole time.
Oh, that dude. So why is he fighting Beefcake here? Or why is he fighting Poffo here?
That's a good question that I don't have an answer to.
Okay.
I wish I did.
Outstanding.
I don't.
You love to see it.
Great genius, high level ideas here. in 1990
Absolutely.
WWF.
No one books like Vince, man.
Now, the first match of the show that we will not be watching is Ronnie Garvin versus Greg Valentine in a special submission match.
Okay, that sounds interesting enough.
They're really playing up that a submission match is a unique and interesting gimmick idea.
Oh, it's special because it's a submission match. It's not a special submission match. I got it. Okay.
So the feud between these two, a bunch of stuff that was not at all brought up on television. Greg Valentine and Ronnie Garvin. I don't even have a good way to explain Ronnie Garvin. He just looks like a dude. Like,
Okay.
Greg Valentine. He takes 15 minutes to get warmed up. He looks.
I always forget that's him,
like
but
your
yes.
uncle.
Yes. He's got to get those 15 minutes, man. It's important.
I'm pretty sure he's currently tag teaming around with the Honky Tonk Man as part of the Heartbreakers or whatever they call it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
Anyway, Greg Valentine and Ronnie Garvin had been feuding since a match on December 30th, 1988, which Valentine won by grabbing the tights for leverage. On April 22nd, on the April 22nd, 1989 episode of Superstars, Garvin defeated Valentine in a match. On the following edition of Superstars, they both face each other in a retirement match where the loser could not wrestle anymore in the WWF. Valentine won the match, sending Garvin into retirement. In retirement, Garvin took up other positions in the WWF. First, he became a referee, but he was suspended after disqualifying Valentine in a match against Jimmy Snuka. And later, a ring announcer at SummerSlam 89, a position he used to berate and belittle his erstwhile rival. That is Wikipedia's words. Valentine was so irate that he demanded Garvin to be reinstated as a professional wrestler, and his request was accepted. At Survivor Series, they both battled in a match on opposing teams, and now they're having this submission match. It's the battle between the figure four leg lock, Valentine's move, and the hammer jammer, which is Ronnie Garvin's, which
that sounds great.
Hammer jammer, he had a squash match on Superstars, actually, so I know what that is. The hammer jammer is the sharpshooter.
I'm sorry, what?
It's the sharpshooter. And there's an alternate reality where we don't know that move as the sharpshooter. We know that move as the hammer jammer.
Oh, yes. My favorite. The Montreal Screwjob committed against who else but
Ronnie
Garvin. Ronnie Garvin. The rightful champion over the rightful champion over, who else? Fuck. No, I'm blanking on his name. Shit. Fuck. No.
I would help you. I don't know where your joke is going.
It's gonna be such a funny bit. It was gonna be such a funny bit. Give me a second. No, it's dead. The other rocker. Marty Jannetty. Fuck. I forgot his name. Yes, the infamous Montreal Screwjob between Garvin and Jannetty, of course.
Yeah. So, as fun as this special submission match will be, I'm sure, we are not watching it. Because fuck
that,
man.
That sounds dumb.
Okay, then this is what I debated doing instead of doing the Bushwhackers match. We're going to have a special edition of the Brother Love show.
Brother Love.
It's Bruce Pritchard dressed up in red paint and pretending to be a Baptist preacher.
What is the connection between dressed in red paint and Baptist preacher?
He's trying to imitate, like, they get sweaty and hot up there giving their sermons.
Oh, so he's just like, I'm just gonna paint myself red naturally, Bruce. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Okay.
Anyway, God. He is a heel, and he's obnoxious. He hosts the talk show, the Brother Love Show. And
Shocker.
He is going to host a face-off between Queen Sherry, the manager of the Macho King, Randy Savage.
Yes, Sherry Martel, baby.
And Sapphire, the manager of Dusty Rhodes, as the common man, the American dream, is now in the WWF, and he's got his brown sugar with him, daddy, his sweet Sapphire.
Okay, do we know Sapphire for anything else, or is this like literally her only thing of note?
This actually is kind of her only thing of note. She basically
That's unfortunate.
came into the Federation as a both a kayfabe and a shoot fan of Dusty Rhodes, who they put with Dusty to kind of be like the common woman to his common man.
And of course, Dusty has to be like, and by the way, she's black. Wait, that explains a lot about Cody. Oh no.
he
Oh no.
saw how
Oh no.
in
It all
1990
makes
Dusty was trying to solve racism, and Cody had to be the one to finish the job.
who needs Cody Rhodes to win the fucking Uwu championship to complete the story? He already completed the story by finishing what his dad started by ending racism.
You're damn right.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Sherry, basically Sherry doesn't like that this rando nobody is just in the Fed now, and
Okay.
she's got a problem with Sapphire existing, and so this is leading to tensions between Dusty and Macho King. And
You know, we love us a good proxy war in wrestling.
yeah, so like this is building to a pretty big match at WrestleMania 6, one that we probably will watch. So I thought about it, but I just didn't want to do. I didn't want us to only do 2 out of 5 matches on at the Royal
well,
Rumble.
because Dream is the other like legend that has eluded me entirely thus far. I have not seen a single Dusty Rhodes thing aside from like, you know, his post-retirement shit of him like when he had both Cody and Dustin in the Fed, and you know, he did a couple things with them.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the best first impression of Dusty Rhodes. This is the infamous.
Well, no, of course not. It's him in the
They
Fed.
put me in polka dots.
Yeah.
You know, Dusty Rhodes.
I mean, I know Dusty at the very least, like, you know, he lemons out of lemonaded that shit. I remember seeing this interview that fucking goddamn Tyrus did, where he was talking about like the Funkasaurus thing, and I guess he like was friends with Dusty or something, or like he at least had some kind of like backstage acquaintanceship with Dusty. So he was like talking to, or maybe Dusty even trained. I don't fucking know, but he was talking to Dusty about it, and he was like bitching about it and how stupid like the Funkasaurus persona was. And Dusty's like, well, let me tell you something. You know, when I came to the Fed, they put me in polka dots, and those polka dots were pretty stupid. But you know what I did? I made it work, man. I made those polka dots work, and the polka dots ended up being fucking cool, didn't they? And Tyler's was like, yeah, you made the polka dots cool. He's like, you goddamn right, I made the polka dots cool, motherfucker.
Yeah. So Dusty absolutely does his best to try to elevate this material here. But
yes,
they put him in polka dots to make fun of him because
yes,
didn't like Dusty. As a matter of fact, Virgil, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but
I feel like you have.
Virgil being named that was a dig at Dusty because Dusty's real name is Virgil. So they made the manservant of the character who is more or less a Vince McMahon stand-in, even if one that is being played as a heel. They made him after Dusty.
Oh my god, that's so stupid.
Hey,
that's so petty.
WCW would return the favor because when Virgil signed with WCW, they changed his name to Vincent. So they would pay right on back.
Oh my god, that's such a deep cut level of petty though. Like who the fuck is gonna get that at some point? Aside from the smarkiest of smarks who like
The
are
boy, the
subscribed to
boy,
the
the boys
physical
in the
version of the newsletter.
the boys in the back get the joke though. So you know,
That's all that matters, man. As long
yeah.
as we get our takes in.
Yep. Anyway,
God damn.
so they'll almost certainly be building to that confrontation at WrestleMania 6, but we will not be watching it for this podcast. Now,
Okay.
next match that we're also not going to watch. Jim Duggan versus the Big Boss Man.
Okay.
Duggan is still Duggan. Don't you worry about that. The Boss
Okay.
Man is interesting, though, because this is the
Yes.
original incarnation of the Big Boss Man, who was still a prison correctional facility, like a correctional officer, but
Yeah.
a heel. He is with Reverend Slick.
Yes.
He is a heel. He doesn't even have his theme song yet. He doesn't have the take trip down to Cobb County, Georgia. All that. He is a heel.
That time when Vince said a cab.
Yeah, he is. He walks around as a correctional officer, beats people with a nightstick, and that is like, you're a bad person for that. As opposed to when
Yes.
he is a babyface, when he runs around and beats people with a nightstick.
With a nightstick. And everyone's like,
not only that, and this is something I didn't even know until I actually watched this matches. He not only carries the nightstick with him, he carries a literal ball and chain. And after he beats his opponent, or he did this to a jobber, he tied the ball and chain around the jobber and then dropped like that. It's like the heavy metal ball. He dropped it on the jobber's chest after the match.
I don't think I've ever actually seen a physical ball and chain. I think I've only ever seen a ball and chain in cartoons. What the fuck?
He has an actual ball and chain that he carries around.
Was that an actual like American policing measure in 1990?
I'm sure it was an actual prison measure before. Let me.
Well, like yeah, but like in 1990.
Well, now I'm kind of curious. The history of the ball and chain. You know what? I'm not going to be able to. It was apparently used as late as the mid 20th century. Is how far the physical restraint was
Mid 20.
used.
Okay. So it's more just shorthand, but also God, that's so goddamn
It's a
goofy.
known cultural thing.
It just feels so archaic to put on someone dressed up like a modern cop, like Big Boss. But okay, whatever.
But yeah, so he is in again one of the most like, I can't believe Vince did this. ACAB, I guess, is you got Big Boss Man going around being like, I'm gonna beat you senseless, Jim Duggan. That's the American way. I'm like, what?
Something broken clock.
What?
Again, as opposed to a face when he says, I'm gonna beat your ass, insert heel here, because that's the American way.
I'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way.
Oh man, Big Boss Man in a post 9/11 world. That's anyway.
It's probably for the better that Big Boss Man died before he had a chance to really
do
post 9/11.
That's a hell of a sentence, but also yes.
Anyway,
culturally.
So they're going to have that match. And now for the Royal Rumble match. Interesting thing is that, like, there are no surprise entrants. Well, actually, you know what? That's not the first thing I will mention. I'll mention is that in this period in the Royal Rumble means nothing. It's just a match. You know, you can say
you won at no signs, boy.
We're not pointing at the signs. We're not getting a title match. It's just like, you won a difficult battle royal match on the main event at a pay-per-view.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So the previous two, this is only the third Royal Rumble. The very first Royal Rumble winner in a 20-man Rumble was won by Jim Duggan. And then in 1989, the first 30-man Rumble was won by Big John Studd. So,
I don't know who that is, but neat.
Have we really not seen? I guess By 80, I guess I guess he was pretty phased out. His peak was not 88. So I
Okay.
guess I can see how we might have missed Big John Studd. Um, they basically 89 was basically like here's a like prize for being a loyal employee. It's like a
Ah,
career award.
it's like your employee of the year award is a Royal Rumble win.
Yeah, so but again, okay, the other thing I was mentioning is that there are no surprise entrants in the Royal Rumble. They've been pretty upfront for a couple weeks, all 30 men who are in the Rumble. And it's just been a question of like everyone's been talking up like what number are we who's going to get? What's going to happen if these teams, because remember a lot of these guys in this era, like in this era you had a bunch of heel managers who built up factions and teams. So there's a lot of questions of like what are you going to do in the Rumble if you got to fight your own men?
That is a really interesting way of like going about it though, because like as much as I love the current sensibility of the Rumble, where it's chock full of surprises and it's kind of like this big fun pop fest, a really technical Rumble with like factional story implications is fascinating.
Like Heenan's got like 4 people in this Rumble, and Gorilla Monsoon has been perfectly pleased to be like, what's gonna happen if it comes down to like Rick Rude, Andre, and Haku? What's gonna happen? And Heenan has dodged the question. He's
You,
like not he refuses to acknowledge the
fuck,
question.
that's so lame though, because like that could be compelling if it weren't 1990 and the whole shtick between Gorilla and Heenan is that they just goof off the entire time. They fucking Statler and Waldorf post at each other.
So I'm going to list off all 30 members of the Royal Rumble, and if I'll mention their character, if it's somebody we haven't really seen before, and what
Okay.
stories, if any, they have kind of going into it. As there are a few of these guys, not necessarily like deep stories, but they've established like in the Rumble, I am targeting you in particular.
Okay. That's fair.
They're going in with like a goal to take out a guy, one guy or another.
Personal grudges. Power's a lot, you know.
Yeah, so I decided to do this in alphabetical order, and maybe that
Okay.
was my mistake. As
I
I have
mean,
to thus start with Akeem the African Dream.
oh no. Oh no.
So, okay, I'll
God
be
damn it.
honest. All right, so Akeem was once the one-man gang, a big burly dude who is his thing is I'm a gang guy. And I
Oh
need
my
to
god.
emphasize this. I need to emphasize this to you. The one-man gang is very, very white with no actual African heritage at all. And so he hooks up with Reverend Slick, and Slick has an entire ceremony where he like has the one-man gang summon the spirits of his African heritage, and he starts dressing in kuta cloth and doing stupid hand motions, and he becomes Akeem the African Dream.
Wait, that's so much worse than what I was imagining! Oh my god, I thought we were just doing boilerplate racism.
No.
We were going Super Saiyan everything but blackface racism.
It
Oh.
on some level, it's almost so stupid I can't even be offended by it. Because what
Yeah,
the
well.
fuck am I looking at?
Oh. Fucking Reverend Slick imbued him with the power of urban gangsta flavor. Gave him the N-word pass, I guess, and bada bing, bada boom. Now he's the African Dream. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Fucking hell! Oh, that's so awful! Oh, that's so horrendous!
And that's
Oh no!
alphabetically, that's what I have to start with. He's talking about Akeem.
Oh, God. Holy shit. Okay, proceed.
All right, next up, Andre the Giant, and I will just go ahead and wrap this up with Haku, because right now they are not just the tag team as the Colossal Connection, they are the tag team champions. Under the tutelage of Bobby the Brain Heenan,
Yes.
they have beaten Demolition to become the tag team champions.
I never knew Andre held a tag belt. That's actually really sick.
Yeah, so like Andre is still Andre. What he saw of him in WrestleMania 3, same character. And
Yeah.
Haku is a Haku. He is a Samoan who could legitimately kill you. So
Yes. I feel like we've seen Haku pop up once or twice on the
we
show.
did on the
Okay.
he fought Hogan on the Real American tape as the King.
Oh,
Haku.
okay. Gotcha.
This is post King Haku, I think. Yeah, this is post King Haku.
Probably.
Because Jim Duggan beat him for the crown, and then Macho beat him for the crown. So anyway, then they beat Axe and Smash of Demolition, two dudes in face paint and bondage gear, and they like smashing stuff.
I bet they like smashing.
They used to be heels with Mr. Fuji, but now they are baby faces with no manager.
Okay. Good for them, I guess. Positive character growth.
All right, now Bad News Brown. He is basically like a Street Fighter dude. He is a man from the streets who is violent and kick your ass, I guess. I don't know.
Sounds like some bad news.
He
Brown.
is black, so it feels a little weirdly more racially coded in this character than normal.
Oh god. Yes, Mr. Brown.
Yes. Anyway, Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart are both in the Rumble as the Hart Foundation.
Hart Foundation.
Yeah. Then we get Dino Bravo. Dino Bravo is basically a legitimate Canadian strongman, and that is also his gimmick. Right now, he is with Jimmy Hart. He's hanging out with Jimmy. He is in Jimmy Hart, the Colonel Jimmy Hart. He is in the Colonel's collection of dudes.
Colonel? Why does Jimmy Hart have a military rank?
Because that's what he's called. I don't know. I don't know if it's legit or not, but he's called the Colonel Jimmy Hart. But he is aggressively French Canadian, and he is in a beef with the Warrior over the Intercontinental title and who is the strongest strong boy.
I see. Okay. Damn, what the fuck is it with Vince and like hating on Canadian/French people?
I mean, there's in wrestling, we talk about all these like negative, these negative foreigner stereotypes and all that, but no,
yeah, but like
no ethnicity is truly more dangerous and reviled than the French Canadians.
God damn. I mean, like, I get it. Like, those snooty bastards, they look at you and they say, ha, and like, it gets under your skin. But also, like, Vince, maybe chill out a little bit,
Mm-hmm. All right, then we have the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes is in the Rumble.
Dusty's in.
He is, he is. None of the people who have matches before the Rumble are in the Rumble, but there are plenty. But he is beefing with Macho, and that'll take place in the Rumble.
Wait, Dusty versus Macho?
Dusty versus the Macho King Randy Savage will happen.
Okay, that's actually a really sick matchup. That's not something I anticipated. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah. So then we got Haku, Hercules. You remember him? He was the big strong guy with the chains, and he did the lock. He did the full Nelson. He had a whole feud about doing the full Nelson.
Oh, I vaguely remember a full Nelson-based feud, but I don't know much. I don't remember much about it, if I'm being perfectly honest. Probably because it was dumb and forgettable.
Awkward. Hulk Hogan, the WWF champion brother, he's gonna get in the Rumble, dude. He's gonna take out
oh my god.
He's gonna take out all 29 other dudes, brother.
I'm sure he will. That's such a weird thing to have the champion in the Rumble. God, that's such a weird timeline.
It does feel weird knowing, like, we're no longer, the Rumble is not for a title match. So, why not have the WWF champion in the match?
Gosh, God, it's such a weird thing. Okay, yeah, anyway.
Jake the Snake Roberts, who is
Oh,
currently beefing with the $1 Million Man.
okay, what's that beef over?
I can't really piece that together. But I will say
Okay.
this is that the $1 Million Man is that Jake Roberts stole the $1 Million title and stuffed it in Damien's bag. So
For a second, for a hot second, I thought you were about to say in Damien's mouth, and I was like, how?
I mean, the snake
Okay,
might have tried to bite it when he threw it in the bag.
that's fair. He
But
probably did. The thing probably got a little bit of venom on it, for probably
But he
doesn't
did,
even
but he
wipe it
did,
off.
but he's like, haha, fuck you. I stole your belt. You can have it, you can get it back. You just got to get in the bag. You just got to get out of my bag.
Okay, that's thank you, Jake. Thank you for that.
All right, and then Jim Neidhart, Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Okay.
He's one of those. Are like how much do I want to talk about murderers on this podcast?
Not much.
Policy. The Benoit policy means there's only
Ah,
so much I'm willing to say about Jimmy Snuka. He is here.
he's a dude.
He is Fiji and he likes to jump off the top rope. Woohoo.
Okay. Okay.
Coco Beware. He is the
Oh,
Birdman.
yeah. I always man, fucking Pokemon has ruined my brain. I always imagine him as a bear man, and then it's like, no, he's actually a bird, and I'm like, what?
Coco Beware. He brings his parrot to the ring and everything.
Yes, yes.
Marty Jannetty is in, as the Rockers are both in the Royal Rumble.
Ooh. Okay.
They're having a beef with Power and Pain. I'll talk more about them in a minute.
Gotcha.
Mr. Perfect, he has been a big star because right now he is beefing with Hulk Hogan. He is gunning for that WWF title. And
Oh
so
no.
and so he is like, I'm coming for you, Hogan, because I am
Is my
simply
man about to be
perfect.
transitioned out of the biggest feud of his entire career?
Yes. I can already tell you.
Oof,
Yeah,
oof, ow, and owie.
he is not coming out of this with a major WWF title match or win.
Or win. Ouch.
Then the Macho King Randy Savage, after dumping Elizabeth to the curb, he hooked up with Sensational Sherry, and then he beat Jim Duggan to become the king, and so now he's the Macho King with his queen.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That's how you
He
know he's a heel.
carries
He's being a pompous
he
dick.
carries a scepter.
Damn, that is how you know he's a heel. What fucking nice normal person carries a scepter? None of them. Anti-scepter action. That's what I'm saying.
And then Rick the Model Martel.
Yes, yes.
He is a French model.
Yes.
Ravish.
And that's all we got.
That's all his gimmick. And then ravishing Rick Rude.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he has a porn star stash, and his whole gimmick is being like, I'm super hot. The ladies dig me. You're all fat losers.
Somewhere a
And
young Val Venus was inspired.
somewhere a young Scott Steiner was inspired.
Oh, well, that too. That too. He's talking to all his freaks out there,
He is, and he is in a beef with Roddy Piper right now. Again, over nebulous
Roddy.
reasons, but they did a whole bit where Rick Rude picked out a woman from the crowd. I can only assume was a plant, and like made out with her in the middle of the ring. And before that happened, Bobby Heenan interviewed her and was like, "You wouldn't kiss a man who wears a skirt, would you?" And then he pulls the mic away before she can even answer that. He's like, "Yeah, I thought so. How about it, Rick?"
Okay. Thank you, Bobby, for that.
Yeah, and then so Roddy Piper and Rick Rude, they are both in the Rumble. They're having issues.
Nice.
Now, Shawn Michaels, he is, as I mentioned earlier, Smash is in. Ted DiBiase, now he might have the most story related to the Rumble of anyone here
Man.
because they have made a big whole dealy deal about how last year there were accusations that Ted DiBiase bribed people backstage so he could get the number 30 slot.
Ted DiBiase, how dare they insinuate that Ted DiBiase is anywhere remotely unethical with his money? How fucking dare you?
Yeah, DiBiase is very offended by that accusation, but they have kept emphasizing on TV that the security measures this year are tighter than ever to make
Oh,
sure
yeah?
that Ted DiBiase could not pay off somebody to give him the number 30.
I'm sure that'll go just fine.
All right, then the Barbarian,
Okay.
he is in a tag team with a guy we had a great time with before. He is in a tag team with the Warlord.
Why
Remember
do I?
Warlord versus Jim Neidhart in the World Tour tape?
Oh,
Had the
shit.
goofy
Okay, fuck.
lightning face paint.
Yes. Oh, shit, that guy.
Yeah, they're a tag team, the Powers of Pain, with Mr. Fuji, who has apparently
Oh.
made I can make a new demolition whenever I want. Here, the Barbarian and the Warlord.
I mean, look, man, Fuji's a prolific ass manager, all right? He's got to keep fucking that man is nothing without his clients, and he knows how to get goddamn clients. So, Godspeed, buddy.
Yeah. Then in what is the weirdest thing is we have the Canadian earthquake. That is Earthquake, but he came into
Yeah,
the WWF emphasizing how he was Canadian. He's got a Canadian flag on the
he
front of his.
he did.
Yes, he came in as the Canadian Earthquake. They were same gimmick, but they're just like, he is Canadian. We want you to know that. He is palling around with Jimmy Hart and Dino Bravo, and they're all like, see how Canadian we are.
Vince is back there fucking writing up scripts on his typewriter and just cackling at how he's getting revenge on that. I don't know, that one Canadian chick that dumped him 10 years ago. I don't fucking know. That man's psyche is a fascinating thing.
And then the honky tonk man, he's a honky tonk man. He's a honky tonk man. He's cool. He's cocky. He's bad. He's here.
Absolutely.
Then we
Absolutely.
got
Do love some honky.
the Red Rooster. Terry Taylor. His gimmick is he wears a little red thing on the top of his head, kind of like like a rooster.
Yeah.
And he clucks like a chicken. That's the
Whoa.
gimmick.
Is that his only form of communication?
No, he talks like a normal person, but he also just clucks and shit every once in a while.
I've seen weirder things get over. Sure. Whatever makes you happy.
Then we have the Ultimate Warrior.
Speak to me, my warriors.
He is specifically like, Dino Bravo, I am gonna throw you out. Ow.
Good.
I am targeting you, pal. And then the Warlord,
Only
and
one
then
beefy boy.
and then Tito Santana, the final member of the Royal Rumble. This is before they would give him the extremely dignified gimmick of being a matador. So now he is just a dude. He is Mexican and he is a dude.
Why is there more than one instance of a wrestling matador in the fucking Fed, Austin?
Because it's a super easy Hispanic stereotype to play into. That's why.
Of course, carry on, proceed.
Yeah. So that is the 30-man Royal Rumble match. We've kind of touched base on all the different people in it and who's kind of beefing with who and how that could play out within the match.
We're doing expert analysis just like they're doing on the show. Hey, there it is.
We don't know any of the numbers drawn yet. I think it's implied that they do that the night of. But it's been a big topic of discussion. Like, what number are you going to be? They've also talked about on TV, like Jesse Ventura was like, it's nice that, like, he was talking about Dino Bravo going after the Warrior. He's like, I mean, that's a nice goal, but it's a luck of the draw. The Warrior might be eliminated before Dino ever gets out there.
Yes, a thing that is totally likely to happen because it's all random, brother.
Yes, but I appreciate them at least talking about the idea of like these
Yeah,
guys being so single-minded, but they're like, there's no guarantee you're even going to get your shot at it. You should,
that is really interesting.
bigger
I would love
fish.
to see them like explore that kind of story in a Rumble, actually, where
Mhm.
like as part of a broader storyline, like some dudes like single-mindedly targeting someone else in a Rumble, and like one of them gets eliminated before the other can even fucking like interact with them. That would be
I
so funny.
feel like I don't know if that's happened or not. I've not watched all the Royal Rumbles like I have all
That's
WrestleManias.
fair.
So that I feel like they've surely done something like that before. Um
But probably for nothing more than like a joke. And I'd love to see it as part of an actual like arc. I don't know.
Sure. So yeah, they're trying to kind of play this up seriously, talk about like the kayfabe analysis is working strong for the
Mhm.
in 1990. So I appreciate it. It's kind of nice to see them kind of try to treat this like a real sports analyst.
Yeah, like I said, I do really appreciate the implications of a non-random Rumble. Like, again, as much as I have my current sensibilities of how the Rumble should run, I do like and this alternative take that's a lot more kind of like technical and considered. It feels like a smart way to go about it, and I think you could get a lot out of it.
Mm-hmm. So that is our setup for it. If you would like to watch along with us, you can do so on Peacock, WWE's NBC Universal's streaming service, WWE's streaming partner, I guess. It's where they sold all
Yeah.
their rights to for $1
Yes.
billion. So
Ooh.
yeah, all the Royal Rumbles are on there. All the Rumble, you can watch Royal Rumble 1990, and we will be back in the back half to discuss the third ever Royal Rumble match.
Ooh, exciting stuff.
Mhm. And we are back. We have finished the Royal Rumble 1990. And well, I liked the Rumble.
I I started to like the we it, it was not what I expected, is what I will say.
There was a
I
point where I stopped, where I was like, okay, I know where this is going. Let's just wrap up. All right.
I thought I I had a weird time with this one, Austin. I have to say, I think a weird time, slightly in a slightly different way than you did. I was also just like watching it yesterday, where I was just like really fucking like tired. I've had a long week last week, and I'm gearing up for another long week this week, and I was just kind of like, I felt myself being like, I felt the tiredness that I was watching. I'm like, oh god, this is probably influencing me, but also I feel like a stronger show might have been able to pull me out of this a little bit more, because I
Yeah.
did have my moments where I activated, well,
Yep. So
yeah,
I watched the whole of this show,
that
and
sounds not
that
good.
didn't really help. It added one more match that I was like, oh, this isn't shit. But didn't overall help my opinion of the Royal Rumble 1990.
Yeah, I can imagine. I don't think they quite perfected the formula yet, I have to say. But yes, we opened the show, and holy shit, that's a lot of people.
It's time to rumble. It's time for the Royal Rumble.
It cracks me the hell up that like 1990 WWF couldn't get fucking Michael Buffer to for the Royal Rumble, but WCW could get him for things that weren't the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, because WCW had unlimited Ted Turner bucks. So
This is fair.
whatever.
This is fair.
Cool.
This is fair.
But yeah, Vince McMahon does the intro here, and he lists literally all 30 people in the Rumble.
Every single one. It's like, it's so wild just how different it is. Like, here's a reminder of every single person that's going to be in this show tonight. Man, remember the good old days when wrestling shows
no surprises.
Pre-booked.
Everyone is here.
Well, there were still some surprises for me, but not in that sense.
So
we cut the commentary, which is Jesse Ventura and some fucking 16-year-old who claims to be Tony Schiavone.
Tony Schiavone, what are you doing here?
He is so small, Austin. Why is he so fucking small?
He is little baby Tony Schiavone and his
tiny Tony
short WWF run. In fact, this is the last show he will ever commentate for the WWE.
How long was he with them for?
It can't have been more than like 6 months to a year.
Jesus Christ. And then he never came back ever again.
He went straight to WCW. He stayed there till that ended. Then he did a one show in TNA, and then he quit wrestling for 16 years. And then he came back, for AEW.
Well, then he did XWF, and then he quit again. Then he came back for AEW.
Well,
my man said, "I will literally work." What?
XWF was before TNA, so.
Oh well, shit. Yeah, but my man literally said, "I will work for any other company that is not the Fed."
Yeah, I'm out.
And Jesse Ventura, in the meanwhile, is over here looking like a goddamn Disney sim because we're in Orlando.
Yep, we got this fantastic Jesse Ventura line. Not even Mickey Mouse and Goofy could get in here, and I caught them trying to sneak in the back door.
Oh my god, that was when I heard that line. I was watching actually with Kyle and Robbie yesterday, and we all looked at each other. And we were like, "Oh god."
Jesse Ventura even got a pair of Mickey Mouse ears for Tony, who distinctly doesn't wear them.
No, not Mickey Mouse. He's got him a fucking Goofy hat.
Oh, I thought they were the mouse ear.
No, because it's got like the long fucking Goofy. No, that was a Goofy hat, my man. And Shivani's like, no.
No, I'm not gonna put
clearly establishing who is the face and heel commentator here. Based Tiny Tony saying no to the mouse.
Jesse Ventura looking like a Disney adult as we move to the first match of the show. The Fabulous Rougeaus versus the Bushwhackers.
It was at this point that I really came to understand the nuance to the heel heat that Fabulous Rougeaus were working up to. Not only are they dirty, filthy, degenerate French Canadians. Oh no, they're dirty, filthy, degenerate French Canadians who pretend that they're American because
American boys.
Because we here in the World Wrestling Federation have a staunch stance against pretending to be a nationality that you're not.
Apparently, they are trying to ingratiate themselves into America as the model minority immigrants. They have moved from Quebec to Memphis. It's their song. Even in their song, All American Boys. They mention that.
That's, I mean, I love though that's what they build heat off of, is them like trying to be Americans.
They're dirty immigrants from Canada.
I know, those goddamn hopping across the border French Canadians.
They're taking our gerbs.
They're taking our gerbs, eh? It's fucking hell. Also, and then Bushwhackers come out, and literally my note is just fucking Bushwhackers, man.
The whole crowd's going crazy for the fucking Bushwhackers.
Absolutely. Bushwhackers get a pretty huge pop. And match begins, and it all kind of melted together for me. I have to say.
Yeah, so the Bushwhackers and WWF are more shtick than wrestler.
Yeah. Again, what, like 5th people ever to get a 5-star Meltzer rating?
They are like, they are taking it easy into retirement. They're getting paid big bucks to not do shit. So
Absolutely. And I mean, they got over, so, more power to them. It is wild though, because you can tell that both of these teams do have technical aptitude. Again, Bushwhackers because they're fucking pedigree, like, from the rest of their career. And Rougeau's actually see that for two dudes who just look like some schlubby dudes, like, they actually have some clear athleticism to them that I'm like, man, in a better company, in a better time, this could actually be a hell of an interesting match.
yeah.
Too bad it
Yeah.
wasn't.
I make a note here after I realized it. My entire notes have the Bushwhackers mixed up. So I make remarks about
Oh
Butch and Luke,
no!
and no is actually the opposite of whatever I wrote
When
down.
did you realize this?
When I took about 10 minutes into the match, when I decided to go look up online pictures of Butch and Luke, and then realized in my head I had it the other way around.
Uh-oh, stinky. Well, you got to keep that in mind. I don't know, man. A bunch of shit happens. Jesse Ventura tries to, like, kayfabe that the Bushwhackers are objectively, like, worse and maybe less experienced wrestlers than the Rougeaus, and I'm like, okay.
I mean, you think he has a fair point that the Bushwhackers are a little too obsessed with biting.
Fucking yeah, Bushwhackers immediately take to, like, biting the Rougeaus for the entire match, and Tony Schiavone turns to Jesse Ventura and says, "It's got to be a psychological thing, Jesse." And Jesse's like,
Like,
"It's
that's a
not psychological,
DQ.
Tony. It hurts. You ever been bit before?" And then, of course, fucking Robbie comes in with, "That's the type of bite that most people have to pay for."
And then and Jesse is just like, the ref is letting it go, I guess.
Heel commentator Jesse Ventura, all here for Law and Order TM.
Not even the last time he will be objectively correct tonight, and that's an unfortunate.
Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate. Rougeaus, but of course Rougeaus are also doing some cheater-soning.
Yeah, all right. A really funny bit that I've had the Rougeaus do is okay. So they do a bit where Bushwhacker Butch runs in and knocks down Raymond. All right, the crowd goes nuts, and then Raymond Rougeau gets back up, and he starts pointing at Butch, and he's like, "Buck, buck, you're a chicken for attacking me from behind," and he offers his back to Luke to hit him as if like okay, like from behind just to prove how tough he is. And then Jacques Rougeau runs in and hits Luke in the back.
That's funny.
I was like, that's a very funny heel bit.
That's a cute bit. There was something, I forget what it was. There was something like Rougeau's got Bushwhacker Luke isolated, and we're doing some shenanigans to get him fucked up a little extra. And then they do that. They go for the pinfall, and like Bushwhacker Luke still practically no sells the whole like pin. Like he gets extra special fucked up. He gets thrown down for the pin. One of the Rougeaus gets on top of him, and he just like ever so lightly pushes the Rougeau off of him at like the 1 count, and it's fucking goofy.
Yeah, like the match itself is extremely basic tag story of heels beat down one babyface until a hot tag happens.
But also, like, a lot of this was Bushwhackers being in control. Rougeau's got very few, like, real spots to be on top.
They were on top a lot. The Rougeaus were on top.
Were they?
A lot of the match.
Again, like I said, this match kind of bled together. I just saw Bushwhackers hitting moves, and I was like, "Yep, that seems about right." And every once in a while, I saw
love to just like run in the ring and hit moves, and then that's oh, that's all fine, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. Is they just kind of, there's no structure. They were just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna do this thing. Cool. Now I'm gonna do that thing.
I didn't take a lot of commentary notes tonight, but I did make note of this exchange of like, okay, so Jimmy Hart is interjecting himself, and Tony and Jesse Ventura is like, well, I mean, he's a manager. He's just giving them advice like a manager would. And Tony Schiavone is sarcastic, like, oh yeah, Jimmy Hart, a real Boy Scout. That's Jimmy Hart. And Jesse Ventura takes that unironically and goes, I wonder if Jimmy ever became an Eagle Scout. Like completely ignores the sarcasm.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I didn't even catch that. That's so good. God damn it, Jesse. Jesse also had something pretty stupid where, like, I think like 10 minutes into this match, he says something like, the Rougeaus are firing up a little more, I guess. And Jesse remarks on that as, see, now the Rougeaus have gotten into wrestling. What have they been doing up until now? Jesse? What does that mean? Jesse? I don't know. Fucking Rougeaus go for some top rope jump but on Bushwhacker Luke, but he gets the knees up and he goes into he
A
fucking
hot
tags in
tag.
nuclear hot tag. The crowd goes bananas for that
They
shit.
really do.
Oh my god. Jimmy Hart tries to interfere and fails
and the Bushwhackers almost
miserably.
kick his ass until the
And the
Rougeaus
fans
topple
are
him.
like foaming at the mouth, for absolutely rabid to see Jimmy Hart get his ass rocked.
Basically what they do to win the match is Jacques has Raymond has Butch in a submission move. And
He has him in the walls of Rougeau.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And then so Jacques is running the ropes to like do a double team move. Luke trips him, and Raymond lets go of the hold to check on Jacques. And the Bushwhackers do the battering ram, where they basically just knock into them in the back, I guess. And that is enough for the win.
Yeah, I know. The Bushwhackers just refuse to die for this whole thing. And then they just get like the easiest little 1-2 fuck you on the Rougeaus, and
then after the match, Luke runs over the ref and starts licking him in the head.
Yes, absolutely. This match was 15 minutes long. Why does it feel like absolutely nothing was accomplished?
Because not really anything was accomplished.
Oh my god.
I love Jesse Ventura hated the Bushwhackers, though. He was like,
as you do.
Why?
Tony Schiavone comments on the early WWF's favorite word, the chicanery of the Rougeaus this evening, and Jesse's like, oh well, you know.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
So then after that match, we go to an interview with Mean Gene interviewing the $1 Million Man and Virgil, as Gene is like, the random draw has been made for the Rumble tonight, and he brings up the accusations that DiBiase bought his way to number 30 last year. And he is like, so they've added more security this year, and Ted DiBiase jumps in with, you call that security? I call that Gestapoism.
Oh yeah, thank you. Fucking libertarians, man.
So Ted was mad that he didn't get to draw his own number. Apparently, the WWF officials drew the number for him so he wouldn't fuck around with it.
Not even that. Apparently, like, he got Virgil to do it for him.
Well, he claimed,
or was that last year?
Gene took that as like, oh, you didn't draw your own number, as, oh, you made Virgil do it for you. And DiBiase was like, no, I didn't make Virgil do it for me.
See, I thought they were playing that as like sus, of like he actually did get Virgil to do it for. I don't know.
Well, if Virgil did do it for him, he did a shitty job, because Gene is like, what's your number, man? And he's like, I'm not telling you that. He's like, come on, we're gonna find out later anyway. Just give me the fucking ball. And so he takes the ball and he reads out to everyone that Ted DiBiase drew number 1.
Dude, and fucking Mean Gene he's elated over this. He's like, oh ho ho ho, just you wait until you hear what I have to tell you. The $1 Million Man drew number 1. Fuck you, $1 Million Man. You fucking deserve it, you piece of shit. Also, I want to point out that, like, throughout this entire interview, Virgil just has a stack of MDM's money in his hand.
He's just counting money in his hand.
He's not even counting it. He's just flipping. And at one point, we just get like this random close-up while Gene and MDM are talking of just Virgil flipping the money, which is beautiful.
And Ted proceeds to just let out a whole bunch of copium about how it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what my number is. In fact, this is great, because I'm going in there first and I'll exit last. I will show all these 9 to 5 nickel and dimers that I'm the greatest. So
I'm the best. I'm not owned. I'm not owned.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we cut over to our next match of the genius Lanny Poffo versus Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
And don't worry,
Oh
folks, the
man,
genius has a poem, which I wrote down.
of course you did.
Behold the barber, what's his name, with scissors in his hand, intellectually inferior and totally outmanned. He wants to give my genius hairdo an aesthetic augmentation so I can be the joke of this World Wrestling Federation. Side note, if you watch this with closed captions on, they did change that to say World Wrestling Entertainment, thus ruining the bit.
That
and
doesn't
the
even
rhyme.
rhyme.
All his cutting and strutting may be quick enough for some, but I'm the world's smartest man, and Beefcake's double dumb.
Man,
It ended on such a bad note because double dumb isn't a fucking phrase.
so stupid. Man, I hate how much I identify with Lanny Poffo's cringy ass. Because I saw him reading out a poem about how he's gonna dominate in the ring, and I'm like, that'd be me, wouldn't it? That'd be I don't like
Out here doing beat poetry.
you know, I see nothing wrong with it. You know, ain't nothing wrong with a little pre-match sonnet. Shall I compare thee to a summer's Dave Batista? I don't fucking know.
Wow,
Shut
nailed it.
up. Shut up. Shut up. Also, so we get that from him. Then Brutus comes out and Brutus has drip, dude.
You got his cut up pink and white.
Yeah, Jesse Ventura making the actually smart observation that like Brutus probably like got his get up looking the way it did by like getting a little too zealous with his barber shears and like cutting up the fabric, because that is kind of what it looks like.
I think that's what they're going for with the look.
Yeah, so like yeah, actually smart call from Jesse. And then Tony Schiavone's like, yeah, I'd love to see you dressed in something like that, Jesse. And Jesse is appalled at this suggestion, saying he would never wear anything as over the top as Brutus the Beefcake, as if he doesn't have a tendency to do himself up like a punk rock crocodile Dundee.
Irony alert, irony alert.
Yeah, yeah, also as my man is dressed as a Disney adult. Okay, yeah. Dude.
I made a note that I just had this revelation that Brutus Beefcake's theme song sounds like a Seinfeld song before that show ever existed. Like that, the bass line in particular feels like something like would have been a singer. Yeah, it sounds like a singer on Seinfeld.
Brutus the Beefcake's like, what's up with all these barber shops?
Yeah.
Oh my god. So Brutus and Lanny spend the first, like, I don't know, 3 minutes of this match just like posturing at each other.
Yes. Immediately Genius just goes to the outside and does a cartwheel, and that kind of just sets the whole goddamn pace of this match, really.
Yeah.
Genius like prances around the ring like he's some elf in a D&D game. That's the
Woodland Critters Christmas.
Yeah, and Brutus makes fun of him for it the whole time, really.
Yeah. So Paffo's strutting and Beefcake is like, what the fuck are you doing? So he just like mocks him. I will say, once the match got going, it did wake me up a little bit. I always forget that Lanny Poffo is actually like pretty fucking good in ring. He had a bunch of moments in this where he was like being athletic and acrobatic as shit, and I like audibly responded to it.
I had trouble getting into this one because it felt like Lanny Poffo felt like a complete jabroni in comparison to Brutus Beefcake. It felt hard for me to get invested in this match, which felt like just a prolonged ass beating.
Pretty much. That is fair, but like Poffo got enough cool like spots to show off his athleticism that like the spots got to me at the very least. You know, my inner spot monkey poking out, you know, as you do. Jesse Ventura implies that beating Lanny Poffo would be on par for Brutus with the 49ers, which, you know, Brutus is from San Francisco so it'd be on par for Brutus with 49ers winning the Super Bowl, which that's a claim you can make. That's a thing you can say. It's not illegal for you to say that.
Yeah, okay. So Genius. So Brutus basically, the one spot I will note here is that Genius hits a drop kick and pins Brutus Beefcake, and Brutus Beefcake in kicking out tosses Genius, and Genius lands net first on the bottom rope.
Okay, it's more than that though, because that specific spot. So he goes for the pin, but it is the shittiest looking pin I have ever seen. He like just kind of gently crawls on all fours on top of Beefcake, not even like putting all his weight down. He's like vaguely lifted up. He's just kind of like flanking over Beefcake, and Beefcake's like, no, fuck you, and sends Lanny Poffo flying. He got suitably punished for that dumb fuck pin attempt. But Brutus then goes on to do a stupid fake looking move of his own where he does a fucking like head stomp on Lanny Poffo, and it is you could clearly see that that boot made exactly zero contact.
Yeah, okay. I had
one.
2 notes of Brutus Beefcake. First of all, I wrote Brutus with a something with Genius between his thighs, because he gets Genius in like a power bomb position, head between his thighs, and then he jumps up and I don't know what he even does. It seems like he hits him in the head with his thighs, but it feels like he just did nothing. And I was like, what are you doing,
Brutus?
But okay.
Well, I'll tell you who they do get a real fucking hit on. Earl goddamn Hebner.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay, so first of all, Brutus goes through his signature maneuvers, the big body slam. He does a stomp to the face, which I think is the thing David was mentioning. So clearly did not.
Dumb bullshit. Oh my god.
And then he's signaling for the sleeper hold, and the crowd is going fucking crazy for Brutus Beefcake to put this guy to sleep. He doesn't get it
fucking crowd.
He doesn't get it in. Genius gets tossed into the ref. The ref is knocked out on the outside over here. Brutus gets in the sleeper. There's no ref. And then my next note is exactly. The Genius is out cold, and Brutus decides to just strut around like a jackass instead of trying to wake the ref up.
Absolutely. And then Brutus says, "Scissor me, daddy ass," and gets out his barber shears.
And then Jesse goes, "This is utterly terrible." I agree.
I also agree. I agree. Again, I liked this one better because there was a work rate to it. But it did fucking get stupid as soon as they absolutely murdered the ref.
In a real noted babyface situation here, Brutus Beefcake knocks his opponent unconscious and decides to then forcibly assault him by cutting his hair while he is unconscious. That is like an actual criminal assault to do.
In a later segment, goddamn Kurt Hennig
calls it out. It's like, yes.
He makes a valid point about non-consensual luchas de apuestas. He didn't sign up for this.
So Brutus just starts cutting into Genius's hair, and Mr. Perfect runs over to save his friend.
Which is really funny, because I feel like Kurt Hennig is in some way only making the situation worse, because by stopping this haircut mid-cut, that just means he's sticking poor Lenny with a really uneven, unfinished cut, and that to me is a fate worse than death, let me tell you.
So Perfect hits the perfect suplex on Brutus Beefcake. They ring the bell to throw the match out. Perfect goes and grabs a chair and starts whacking Brutus in the gut with it a few times before the refs tell him to knock it off and get him out of there. And officially the match is a double disqualification because Brutus took scissors to his opponent while he was unconscious, and Brutus and Mr. Perfect ran in interference for Lanny Poffo. So you know what? Fucking double DQ. You're both done.
Absolutely. Fucking as it should be. I always get worried in matches like this that the shenanigans are just gonna go unpunished. But credit where credit is due. They actually duded them for this one. Hallelujah. Yeah.
So then a Sean Mooney interview with the Heenan family. That is Heenan, Rick Rude, Haku, and Andre the Giant. But Haku is almost hidden almost entirely behind Sean Mooney in this interview set.
I know. I could not fucking see Haku for the life of me. Haku says you can't see me.
So Sean Mooney is like, it's every man for himself out there. And Heenan's like, no, it's every family for.
See, I heard every family for himself, and I was like, Bobby, what is that grammar?
Bobby, stop.
Bobby.
Mooney tries to ask Rick Rude what his number is, and he's like, I don't have to tell you that. And he's like, well,
everyone being weirdly defensive of their number for some reason.
I'll tell you that. And then he tries to be like, Heenan, well, I mean, like, is the family got the numbers to work together here? And Heenan's like, how about everyone is happy with their numbers and we're going to leave it at that.
Okay, see, here's the thing. From this point on, for the rest of the Rumble, they try to do this thing where they paint the Heenan family as in this very negative light, where they try to be like, oh, they all are actually disagreeing. This Rumble is tearing them apart.
But they don't,
to me, it kind of seemed like they were like,
have the numbers. They don't. Well, the obvious disconnect is between Rude and the Colossal Connection. But because of the way their numbers shake out, they never interact with each other in the Rumble. So there's no real opportunity to like show that.
And even more so, in this segment, like, they tried to play it off as the Heenan family bickering about like whether or not this was gonna be like a problem for them if they were in the ring together. But they all kind of seem to be in agreement of like, yeah, if that's what it comes down to, we'll do what we got to do,
But Bobby seems mad that like Rude would take that attitude.
Oh, sure, but like Rude fucking Andre and what's his nuts? Haku. Rude Andre and Haku all outvote him together. So like it doesn't matter really.
Yeah. It was a red herring of this show of like the dissension within the Heenan family.
Pretty much.
The third match, the one that only I watched, Greg the Hammer Valentine versus Ronnie Garvin in a submission match. And it for me was the only decent non-Rumble match on the show. I disliked both matches that we collectively watched here. But it goes like 15 minutes and it's actually pretty technically sound and I probably could have guessed that if I had to pick one match on this show to be good. But when I pick the matches for this podcast, I don't pick the matches that are good. I pick the matches that I would value as the most high profile. And would give a best sense of the overall quality of the pay-per-view. Again, Greg Valentine versus Ronnie Garvin got basically no build on television. So I was like, fuck it. We're not watching it.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
we gotta go with what's important, even if it's shit.
After a long, hard fight, Ronnie Garvin gets in the hammer jammer and makes Greg Valentine tap out. Or submit. They don't tap out yet.
Yeah.
Jesse Ventura tries to argue that Greg Valentine, like shaking his head no, was him in fact saying, no, I'm not ready to give up. Whereas Tony's like, no, I'm pretty sure he was giving up. That's why the ref called the match off.
Okay, sure. Then, you had, is this where the Brother Love segment came in?
This is where Perfect's interview is.
Okay, yeah, so we get an interview with Kurt Hennig, and again, he's like, man, it sure is fucked up that that Brutus Beefcake tried to do that to Lanny Poffo, isn't it, huh? Anyway.
I did quote this one of like, if you want to call it interference, you call it what you want. But I am sick and tired of it. Every time Brutus the Barber Beefcake puts somebody to sleep, he thinks he can take advantage of them. To which I wrote, perfect point. Yeah. I also know that they show the highlights of what happened and they selectively edited out Beefcake out of pocket cutting Genius's hair. Like they cut...
They biased
editing by the WWF.
Hennig has to like make us think about it verbally to remind us. I will say though, maybe taking it a little extra far, Kurt Hennig's like, yeah, because you cut my friend's hair, I'm gonna crack your fucking ribs wide open. You know, a rib for a rib for a hair. I'm pretty sure that's not how that saying goes, but you know, I guess.
Suppose not. But
Also, I want it to be known that after this promo, my next note is just, why are there 11 minutes of Royal Rumble promos?
We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, they fucking do 11 actual minutes of Royal Rumble promos.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
perfect is like he drew the perfect number 30. And
Woo!
this Rumble was going to be just like everything else he does in his life.
Absolutely perfect.
So
I will say,
okay,
go for it.
You go ahead to your point.
I was just gonna say, I feel like Kurt Hennig and Ted DiBiase being the bookends of this particular Rumble is actually pretty solid. Like they were obviously they weren't like the top guys, but DiBiase and Hennig at this time were both pretty high profile. And so sticking them is kind of like the very start and the very finish. That actually did feel like a good move to me. They felt like they were comparable characters that could really fit in such places. I quite like that bit of storytelling.
I can go more into it when we get to the Rumble match, but like in a really nerdy way to put this, I really like the way they structured the entrance, when people came out in the Rumble match. Overall.
We'll talk about it.
There's
One
guy. There's one where I'm like, I didn't need to see this guy this late in this match. But overall, I enjoyed the way they kind of structured who was featured and who was doing what throughout the match.
Yes, I'll talk about it more when we get there. I agree broadly, but again, we'll get there.
Yeah. So the next two segments were mine only. As
mm-hmm.
First, we get the Brother Love show with Sapphire and Sensational Queen Sherry, and honestly, this fucking sucked.
Oh, really? Really?
It is really just Brother Love brings Sherry on, and they do this extremely long-running bit of first Brother Love being like he was reading the Book of Love, and he came across the definition of peasant, and he said the definition is a woman with no class, a woman with no finesse, a woman with no beauty, and they're implying it's Sapphire. They're talking about Sapphire.
What dictionary is he okay, fucking
the Book of
the
Love.
Southern Preacher.
The
Southern Preachers, man.
They bring out Sapphire, and literally it is 10 minutes. It is like 7 to 10 minutes of Brother Love and Queen Sherry shit talking Sapphire to her face while she stands there with no response and no real like emotion on her face. But they like call her a peasant. They call her undeserving of being in the WWF. They make jokes about how fat she is, just like Dusty Rhodes is, and how he is a peasant loser, just like all these people in the crowd.
I will say Sapphire is like a lot older than I thought she would be. I presume she'd be like a teenage like fangirl, but she was like maybe
mid-30s or something. I don't know. Let me
yeah, like she looked decently closer to Dusty in age.
Let me see. Oh yeah, she was, Jesus Christ. She was 56.
Yeah, I was gonna say 30 seemed a little young. Yeah, fucking. I mean, that's kind of cute though. Like, you know, we're appealing to, you know, the wine moms of the crowd. Yeah. You know,
Dusty is 11 years younger than her.
What? Okay, that's just cute. That's just cute. I actually kind of like that. That's actually really kind of cute.
Anyway, so she just stands there and takes this for 10 minutes. And then she suddenly is like, I've had enough of this. And she slaps.
After 10 minutes.
Yeah, she slaps Sherry in the face. And this makes Macho King Randy Savage run out to try to attack Sapphire, which draws Dusty Rhodes to come out and attack
Ooh.
Randy Savage. And then after the heels run off, Brother Love decides to try to like get in one few more digs on Dusty Rhodes. So Dusty beats his ass, and then Sapphire and Dusty just kind of dance in the ring together. And that's it.
That's based. I'm here for it.
The last few minutes of this were fine, but the whole part where it's like Sherry and Brother Love just stand there
abjectly shitting on Sapphire for 10 whole minutes.
Yeah, and Sapphire again does not respond to this until she's like, "I've had enough of this," and slaps
Actually,
Sherry.
fuck you. Yeah.
She just stands there and does nothing the entire time. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Outstanding. Okay, cool. All right.
Then we get a Jim Duggan interview with Sean Mooney where he's like,
Whoa.
Big Boss Man, this is the whole land of the free and the home of the brave. And I knew sometime you'd cause problem with me. Ho! And then we get Big Boss Man versus Jim Duggan. And the match ends in a DQ after 6 minutes when it's mostly boring 80s WWF schlock. And then what happens is Slick tosses Boss Man the nightstick, and the Boss Man, and so Slick tries to distract the referee, except the referee turns around and still catches Boss Man hitting Duggan with the nightstick and disqualifies Big Boss Man.
Why have 2 of the matches on this pay-per-view ended in a DQ, Austin? Can you tell me that? I would love to know. Why?
I never see Jim Duggan actually fucking lose a match, so this is about checks out for me.
Oh my god! Oh, the politics.
And then Jim Duggan gets his 2x4 and beats the shit out of Boss Man and Reverend Slick with it. Walkity walk.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. USA. Oh my god. Oh,
3 different people who are all Americans.
USA. CM Punk.
All right, now it's time for 10 minutes of Royal Rumble promos.
Oh god. Okay. Man, just off the bat, all of these motherfuckers really seemed to think that it must have been the sensibility of the day. It must have been the common wisdom that the more you scream, the better you promo. It's simple math.
Yeah, that's just how it worked back in the day. Is just loud, screamy man was the promo style.
Okay, all right.
Jake Roberts was the only guy who was ever like, "What if I did?"
Yeah. All right. So let's run that. Let's run this. Name off each promo, and if I had something to say about it, I'll throw in like my note or two about
Dino Bravo in the Earthquake.
Canadian flag just smack dab on the front of Earthquake's gear, which I find very funny.
How else would you know he's the Canadian?
He's Canadian, obviously. Well, he could start like talking in an outrageous French accent, but he's over, so he's a good guy. So I guess he doesn't have an outrageous accent.
Yes. Demolition.
Yeah. For them, I just have that like they're really leaning on this whole like teams needing to face each other angle.
Well,
I'm sure
I think that's especially because like last year, as they mentioned, they got number 1 and number 2 in the Rumble.
Oh shit.
So like that was a whole big deal of like, oh fuck, they immediately kind of have to fight each other.
Malfunction junction. What's that junction? Yeah.
Yeah. They were like, this year we got better numbers. Great. All right.
Yes.
Bad News Brown. Nothing, I guess. Got it.
Nope.
I made a note of where he's like, he's here to tell those beer belly sharecroppers that they better have their tissues ready to cry when he beats all of their favorites. But I did have to write beer belly sharecroppers as a
I did notice the use of that phrase, and it made me go,
All right, Dusty Rhodes.
See this one. So I had two notes, one bad and one good. The bad note was like, man, the fucking editing on these promos were so sloppy because we cut to Dusty and he's just standing there for a second, clearly waiting for the go signal, and he's like, and so he goes, and then once he's done talking, like it takes them an extra 3 seconds for them to cut away to the next person. God, the editing on this sucked, but Dusty himself. My note was just, goddamn, Dusty was nothing but pure charisma, dude. Holy
He was.
shit.
It's Randy said, "Oh, the Macho King, he proved himself out there today." And Dusty's like, "I don't matter about Macho King. I'm gonna be in that match tonight until I can prove myself." Ooh, Sapphire, get in here.
Yeah. Dream was spitting, to be sure.
The Rockers.
I don't think I had anything for them.
They really don't say
No.
anything of note.
Yeah, no. Again, Malfunction Junction. What's that junction?
Hercules.
I don't know if it was like, is it Haku after Hercules?
No, it's Rick Martel.
Rick Martel. At some point around these, I just made a note of why are they all so sweaty? I am very uncomfy because
That's
this
fair.
is supposedly pre-match, and all of these, every single one of these motherfuckers is drenched in sweat or oil or something. Like they look like they just hopped in the pool and hopped back out to cut this promo. Why are they all so wet?
My biggest note for Hercules is he ends saying he's going to win the Rumble Royal. Good job, buddy.
Thank you, Hercules.
Rick Martel.
Got nothing. I got nothing. That sure was some Rick Martel.
I laughed that he started by like mugging for the camera in side pose, and then he's like, "No one will touch this beautiful face."
Thank you, Ricky. They're very cool.
Tito Santana.
I got nothing.
He is the most
nothing.
Just a dude babyface in WWF history. Is Tito Santana.
On the scale of dude, he is at the very top.
Dude.
He's the most just a dude. That's an impressive thing. I feel like he should get an award for that. You know, really solidifies his place in the Hall of Fame, I think.
Yeah. Jimmy Snuka.
Fuck you. Fuck you, man.
Fuck you. Though I did note that he compares the Royal Rumble to fishing with the sharks back on the islands.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Great. Akeem, the African Dream.
Oh, I actually did have a note for this. Oh God. Oh no. Why? 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 Why?
My note was Slick says Akeem is the biggest and the baddest
Why?
Is the brother from Africa, Akeem.
No.
While Akeem moves around like a doofus.
Stop. Like the whitest of boys. Stop it.
Right.
I am in pain.
All right. Next is the Ultimate Warrior, and you get your notes out right now because I, ladies and gentlemen, have transcribed this entire promo and will be doing it when David is done talking. So
see, all I have is just I have three. I'm gonna give a nice little sandwich here, Austin. I'm gonna have a slice of bread at the top of this. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna have a condiment to insert in the middle of it, and then I'm gonna have another slice of bread at the very end. So up top, I will say I'm very happy I had the captions on for watching this because Warriors promo, I barely understood a word that was said. My man was gargling marbles.
Can't wait till we have to watch these promos on VHS rips.
Austin claims that he was able to make sense of this nonsensical rambling. So let's see.
I said I wrote all the words down. That's what I said.
Okay, that's enough of a translation, at least a literal one.
If they refuse to understand that the power of the Ultimate Warrior has spread like a virus amongst the WWF, then let them continue to walk as normal as they seem. But if those 28 normal men want to have special attraction, such as the Royal Rumble, then you and I, as the Warriors, the most powerful force in the WWF, will continue to see it only as another challenge, only as another day of combat. Those 28 normal men stacked one on top of another can't come close to the feelings and the destinations from parts fun unknown. Fuck! You realize you
I love
input here. You gotta.
Yeah, no, this was parts unknown. Undertaker is the surprise entrant in this year's Rumble. Gaga.
You realize as I do, the 29th man, you, Hulk Hogan, walk with a different force field around you. Walk on different horizons that are close to where I've been. But no one in the Royal Rumble shall form a team. Every man shall fight for what he feels in himself.
That's not
and
true.
I, the Ultimate Warrior, will fulfill another destiny.
Yes. Yes. So first of all, Austin, you need to like bag that, put in a little box and pull that out as like an audition monologue. First of all, think of the roles. If someone came to audition for me for like a Shakespeare show and pulled out an Ultimate Warrior promo, I'd cast him on the spot. I don't care. But yeah, that was deeply unhinged.
So,
Yeah.
you picked the stupidest way possible to just be like, the 28 other men suck, and the 29th man, my one equal, is Hulk Hogan.
But it's all about that flavor, Austin. He put the seasoning on it, you know?
Are
You
you
could
seeing the appeal of the Ultimate Warrior?
You know, the answer to this is yes. But where one question is answered, another is posed. Which is now, were people unironically into him, or is it like me where I see this deeply unhinged shit and I'm like, oh, this is really stupid and funny, and I love that.
Probably a
I
little
don't know
A.
how sincere it could have been.
I don't know how much of that is column A and how much is column B.
It
probably depends on the age group.
Yeah, that's fair, because my man said words and they kind of made sense, but he did say them in an extremely hyperactive, powerful voice and came across like an unhinged lunatic, and that's fun, I suppose.
The Ultimate Warrior is the shouty man 80s wrestling promo taken to its logical extreme.
He is the physical embodiment of that practice. He is someone 80s screamed promo a little too hard, and the Ultimate Warrior was birthed whole cloth from that moment. He just appeared from a rip in the fabric of space-time.
The difference between Warrior and Hogan and Savage is that Hogan and Savage, you could understand what points they were trying to make.
Well, to an extent. Well, yeah. So that was deeply unhinged.
Mostly. I do understand that when Hogan claims that he's going to body slam Andre so hard that the fault line in Atlantic City will cause an earthquake and Donald Trump will realize the lack of the importance of family over material possessions because he's such a Hulkamaniac. I did understand that point.
Yes.
Whether I think that's stupid or not.
I could understand. I could make out the words that were coming out of the mouth, and that's half the battle. Warrior, not so much. We cut back to Shivani and Ventura for some reason. They just kind of comment on some of the promos we've seen so far, and they're like, and now here's some more. And hey, speaking of deeply unhinged,
yeah,
the Macho King.
Nah, he goes on for a really long time.
The Macho King wearing his crown that he got from Burger King, dude.
Yeah, so Macho King, any notes on that promo from Randy Savage?
Let's see. Nah, just that the crown looks cheap as fuck, and that Macho is pretty much just as unhinged as Warrior is.
I enjoyed his line about he's the one person you shouldn't bet against because you'll go broke.
Thank you for that, Macho.
Okay, then Mr. Fuji with the powers of pain.
I see. You know what I appreciate? I appreciate that food. So we know Jimmy Hart does the thing where he wears a different outfit for every single one of his wrestlers that he manages, and he's so committed to that that he will wear multiple outfits in the same show if he has multiple of his guys like on the show. But that's all fine and good. I find it deeply cute and wholesome that Fuji does like little eye
He
makeup
does the eye face
for
paint.
yeah, he does like the eye face paint when he's hanging out with these two dudes. That's actually really sweet. Like, oh, way to take care of Power and Pain, buddy. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That was
Uh
all I had.
yep. And then Jake Roberts.
Yeah, okay, this is everyone else is screaming their asses off, and Jake Roberts here to bring, his trademark
It
intellectualism to the proceedings.
never ceases to amaze me what the human mind can come up with. And then he's going on about what's the best number, and he's like, well, no number is the best because there'll be a lot of hungry men out there, and the winner will be the man who will do anything, the man who will sacrifice just a bit more than everyone else. And that sounds like me.
Jake Keith Lee Roberts is out here talking about in-ring psychology or whatever. So, I appreciate the change in pace.
The Hart Foundation.
Yes, Jim Neidhart gets like really worked up about this, and mellow out, screams Bret Hart to Jim Neidhart.
I'm seeing that's the Hart Foundation promo style of like Jim Neidhart goes on some coked up rant of near gibberish, and then Bret's like, and I'm here to say a cogent point.
He's his translator, thank God, right?
Mm-hmm. The Honky Tonk Man.
The Honky Tonk Man. Fucking so my man talks about how he's gonna the 29 hits he's gonna play during the Rumble, talking about the 29 men he's going to eliminate, which I'd love to see, like, because the very specific thing needs, so he's not number one, which means he will need to come in at a point where nobody else has been eliminated and then single-handedly eliminate every single one himself.
This does not work out for him.
Which, I feel like it's properly symbolized that this is actually that all of the, again, hits, because get it, music, all the hits he's gonna play is actually really fucking stupid, because he then ends the promo by strumming what is, I shit you not, the single sourest chord I've ever heard in my life.
He is such a bad job at trying to play a guitar.
I think I had an aneurysm when he did that. I think it caused permanent nerve damage in me when he hit that chord off. It was very painful.
And now the final one of these stupid promos, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan says he's gonna like dig deep into his intestines and pull out all the vitamins and prayers he's got inside of there to win the Rumble or something.
Yeah, no, he's like, I tell you, brother, I've seen all these guys out there in the back, dude. We're thinking they're ready for the Royal Rumble, but the only thing you can't plan for is the power of the Pythons of Hulkamania, brother. Hulkamania is at its peak, brother, and Hulk Hogan doesn't care who thinks they're the most powerful man in the WWF. When he beats the other 29 men, he will prove that nothing is stronger than the power of Hulkamania, dude. What you gonna do when the power of Hulkamania runs wild on you?
No. What he says is, what you gonna do when the power of Hulkamania rumbles all over you? And I don't think I'm comfortable with the idea of Hulkamania rumbling on any part of me. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, little dude, I'm gonna come over and rumble all over you, brother.
No, stop it. Stop, Hulk. Stop, bad touch. Bad touch. Stop it, Hulk.
Brother, I'm gonna rumble all over Bubba the Love Sponge's wife, dude.
Gonna rumble. Fuck. No. I'm gonna rumble all over the little Hulkamaniacs in heaven, brother.
Oh yeah, brother.
God damn. Okay. Yeah. So that was also unhinged. The three horsemen of the apocalypse. Deeply unhinged promo cutting. fucking we cut back to the crowd. Dude, I did I see a foam hacksaw 2x4 in the crowd? I swear to God, I
Probably.
saw some kid holding up what had to have been like, one of those fucking, WWE and their foam merch. A foam 2x4.
Yep.
Why? That's so dumb. You're literally just being sold a small, thin plank of styrofoam. It's not even in a shape. It's just a rectangle.
Yeah, but it's Duggan's 2x4.
Oh my god. Oh, they could really get away with selling anything, couldn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
Okay, it's time
Okay.
for the Royal Rumble match. Um, after Howard Finkel goes through the rules,
Yeah.
number one out is Ted
Is Ted
DiBiase.
DiBiase, of course.
And I'll be honest, I had to I took the same level of notes I take in the other rumbles we've done so far, but I really felt like I had to nail it on this one because there is, unlike modern rumbles, there is no on-screen graphics listing names or number of who's coming out. All we
Oh,
get is the
really?
10
Oh,
second
shit.
countdown. But like, yeah, they don't say, like, you have to rely on the announcers to be like, it's this person. And what number is it? Well, if you're not keeping count at home, fuck you, man. You're getting
Fuck you. I
no
did lose
help.
track of that pretty easy.
Mm-hmm. So I make
Yeah.
sure to take very clear notes on every entrant number. It was like,
I
will be
tried, but I
no
kind of lost it in the
references.
middle. Yeah, all right. So,
So it's Ted
Ted out,
DiBiase,
and then it's Coco Beware out at number 2. Um,
Birdman
and
it up.
man, I forgot that I'm like really into Coco Beware, dude. He's great.
For a guy who is basically like mid card at best in the
Yeah.
WWF, guy is fun to watch.
Why was this guy stuck in the lower mid card? He seems bursting with personality and charisma, and he's clearly talented as fuck.
I don't know, but he basically never wins anything.
Well,
Maybe
because Vince can't recognize talent if it bites him on the ass, as long as it's that talent isn't named Hulk fucking Hogan.
okay. So so this early part of this match, I like the story here of DiBiase being like, I need
Yes,
to immediately attack these people. He is trying to turn this into 29 consecutive 1v1s.
dude, it was so cool. We one spot in this first bout I took note of was DiBiase starts fight. He gets Coco at one point, and he starts like slamming Coco's head into the turnbuckle, and Coco just fucking like he doesn't no sell it, but he like endures that shit and fires back up, and
He's
oh my
hulking up.
god. He's hulking up and he turns around and he whoops DiBiase's ass. And he whoops DiBiase's ass for a hot second, and then he gets flipped out of
Then
the ring. Fuck
he
you.
tries
And I
to
was
clothesline
boo.
DiBiase out, but DiBiase body drops him out of the ring. Elimination number one as the
Off the
next
bat,
man.
I was already realizing like it's sick though if they were like it's sick that they're kind of going for DiBiase actually being powerful in the Rumble this year because like
Mhm.
they were talking about how DiBiase's this little weasel who weasels out of things like the weaselly little weasel he is. But like trapped in this position, he shows off and it's actually really cool to see.
Mhm. And then entrant number 3 is Marty Jannetty.
Yes.
I got a real note about his performance in the Rumble versus Sean's later. Um, Again, the $1 Million Man immediately jumps on the attack, but this time Marty is quicker to kind of start taking over. However, Marty, after a good back and forth, Marty goes for a flying crossbody. DiBiase ducks, and Marty yahoo's right
Marty's
out of
out.
the Rumble.
Marty's out not to he's out pretty quick
He's
too.
out number
Um
2.
yeah, well yeah, well what I'm saying is like it doesn't in terms of time does not take him all that long to be yeeted.
The first
Um
2 are out in the before the next guy comes out.
oh my god.
Which number
Fucking
4 then though is Jake Roberts.
One thing I do want to note though, so I didn't note this during the promos earlier, but during the Rockers little promo, they talked about how they were like gonna they were talking about the same thing all the teams were this year. The trope they're leaning on of like whether or not there was going to be malfunctions at these junctions, and Sean and Marty were just like, "Hey, man, we don't really got to worry." Sean's like, "Hey, Marty, I don't think we got to worry about this, this whole thing." And well, he was right because Marty's fucking gone before he even steps into the ring.
That also feels like prescient, considering like a minor spoiler here. Sean is one of the last people out, so like,
yes,
if we could say they cut these promos with their numbers in mind, it makes sense. They'd be like, "Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have to worry about like having to fight each other." Because one of us is
that's also such a backhanded thing to say to Marty of like, yeah, you little fucking jabroni. I don't think you're gonna last very long if you're coming out at number 3, you dipshit.
To be fair, the longest lasting person in the Rumble before this year's Rumble, so admittedly the first 2 Rumbles, but the longest lasting person in Rumble history up to that point had gone just under 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
In fact, I'll just go ahead and say this. DiBiase at 44 minutes sets the record in this
I was going to say.
He lasts 44 minutes. That is then the record for longest in the Rumble. And
he probably held that record for a hot second.
He will hold it for a couple of years because Ric Flair is going to shit all over that record 2 years later.
Of course.
But, like, admittedly, it's not even that much of a backhanded compliment to say like Marty is not going to last long enough to interact with Sean, because up to that point, literally no one had lasted 23 spots in the Rumble.
This is fair, but also like, but man, that's your tag team partner. Even if you don't actually believe it, you still gotta gas him up, like. It's kind of mean. Like he could have just been like, "Hey, buddy, I believe you could break that record." But nah, he's like, "Nah, fuck you. You're gonna die, you little bitch."
And then he died. But yes,
yeah.
Number 4 is Jake Roberts,
and the crowd loses it. Jake's here to defeat DiBiase with his pure in-ring psychology.
Yeah, DiBiase tries to get such a jump on Jake. He goes out through the middle rope and tags Jake before he even gets in the ring.
I know. These motherfuckers immediately start brawling on the outside. DiBiase is like, oh shit, he actually poses a threat to me. So I'm going to make sure I don't have a top rope to go over.
Yeah, so these guys fight for 2 minutes. Jake Roberts almost gets the DDT on DiBiase, but DiBiase escapes.
I will say, this is kind of random. We get a shot of the foot. We get in the middle of this. We get a random shot of like the snake bag that Jake lays in the corner, and it will never not be creepy. Getting close up shots of the snake bag like moving because there's a fucking living, live, real snake inside.
Probably the funniest part for me is how that's actually going to be relevant in a Rumble eventually.
Oh, really?
In the next year's Rumble, in the 91 Rumble, Andre and Jake Roberts were feuding, and the story was Andre is actually deathly afraid of snakes. And so he is eliminated from the 91 Royal Rumble by Jake Roberts pulling out Damian, and Andre being so scared he voluntarily leaves the match.
What the fuck?
Yes.
Hey, he's Jake Roberts with that in-ring psychology. He knows. He's a genius. He's unstoppable.
Yep.
I mean, he kind of is relative to this match, considering that he is, in fact, the first person that DiBiase does not get out before, like, the next competitor.
Yep. Fortunately, DiBiase gets some help, as number 5 is the Macho King, Randy Savage.
Yes. Fucking Savage is out here. Savage's arrival did make me ponder something, because you've mentioned in the past how apparently Savage was very exacting about his in-ring choreo. Like he wanted to make sure all of the spots were like.
He very much.
So I wonder.
He was one of those guys who was like, we are note by note choreographing the whole thing beforehand.
So I wonder how that worked for him in the Rumble, because no fucking way he was able to pull that type of shit in the Rumble. So like,
probably not. He probably had to do some compromise on like his spots in the Rumble. especially
Yeah, which is
because admittedly most rumbles when you're not actively doing a spot, you're just kind of like pretending to punch a guy in a corner.
randomly brawling. Yeah,
Yeah, so you can kind of get away with it.
that must have pissed him off something fierce. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But Savage
well,
goes straight
the thing is
for
too. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Savage goes straight for Jake. And DiBiase immediately steps back and observes. And God, fucking like shrewd situational analyst Ted DiBiase is easily my favorite aspect of his character because he spends so much time doing this goofy, like, I'm rich bullshit, and it's so obnoxious. But, like, man, deep down, when you let him take himself a little more seriously, like, there's a compelling character, a compelling heel character there. And when it comes out, it's actually really sick to watch.
Yeah, he's so wrapped up in this like goofy millionaire thing that
Yeah, I
like
know.
guy actually underneath all that's actually pretty smart dude. But
I agree.
why do that? Why use my brain when I can use my money? The Ted DiBiase
Absolutely.
way.
That does make his story in this match interesting because he wasn't able to buy himself to Easy Street this time, and he's making the most of it. He makes for a really compelling character at the center of a lot of this match, so that's really cool. And then Jake Jake gets caught in the fucking like arms tangled in the ropes thing, which is continues to be such an uncomfy thing for me to look at.
Not even the only guy in this match that happens to.
I know. Oh god, it's
yeah, but
I just imagine that happening to myself, and it's so uncomfy.
Yeah, heel solidarity here, as Savage and DiBiase are like, again, we are gonna fight Jake.
After all of commentary, we're making a deal out of like there are no teams in the Royal Rumble. The fucking morality lines are drawn so distinctly that like
things get muddier in the back half of the match, but
a little bit.
Generally speaking, the babyfaces and the heels work with each other.
Not a whole lot of friendly fire morality wise in this one, and like a lot of active cooperation between heels and between faces. Fucking and then number 4 to come out is Roddy Piper, who's not Scottish, but
Piper is number 6, though you might have meant 4th new person. Might have been what you meant. But he is the sixth entrant. He is the
6th entrant. I forgot because there's 6 dude there because here he makes 4 in the ring.
Yes,
is what it is.
Yes.
But like, yeah, he shows up, and so he helps get Jake the Snake out of his bind.
Yeah, it becomes a 2v2. Roddy and Jake versus Savage and DiBiase.
Dude, 6 competitors in. This shit's already like insanely well booked. Like we had DiBiase getting out Coco and Jannetty really quickly and really early. And then we had Jake come in, who brought something different to the match and gave DiBiase more trouble. DiBiase had to switch it up. And then we had Savage come out to team with DiBiase, and for allowing DiBiase to step back and kind of like regain himself and be the shrewd analyst. And then Piper shows up, and we get this sick 2v2. Off the bat, this was like insanely well booked. Just 6 competitors in. I was really impressed with what the story they were telling here.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of close calls here, but nobody gets thrown out. Number 7 is the Warlord.
The Warlord is here, and there was much rejoicing. Yay!
Now, in the story of this is interesting because basically the Warlord is the first like powerhouse of the Rumble, featured in the Rumble here, and he kind of immediately comes in, starts clowning on Jake and Roddy Piper. And Roddy Piper gets stuck busy fighting the Warlord, leaving Jake Roberts to get double teamed again by Savage.
Oh shit! That's actually really smart. I'll admit I saw the Warlord and tuned out like a little bit because I'm like I care less about this guy, but I was trying to. So I did miss kind of what was going on situationally there, but that's pretty sick.
Yeah. But Jake Roberts is just barely able to hang on yet again. And then number 8 is Bret Hart. The Hitman is here.
Man is here.
Now
This shit got away from DiBiase real quick, huh?
It did. His big old master plan pretty quickly fell apart. I was like, we are suddenly up to 6 people in the ring. As Bret is here, I kind of thought the Hart Foundation were heels. Maybe I just assumed that because I've always seen them as heels. But Bret works babyface the whole match.
Oh no, he and Neidhart get like babyface pops.
Mm-hmm. Bret goes straight for Ted DiBiase, and it's now a 3v3 situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Roddy and Bret working together.
No teams, huh?
Yeah, Roddy and Bret working together to take down the Warlord. Entrant number 9 is Bad News Brown.
He sure is here.
He shows up, really. I don't, for a lot of people, I make notes of who's like the person they immediately go target. Did not make a note on Bad News Brown about that.
It's so hard to pay attention.
Yeah. Jake goes.
Boring.
Basically, we quickly get the third elimination of the match, though, as Jake goes for the DDT on DiBiase, but Randy Savage runs in and just knocks Jake out of the ring. And Jake Roberts is the third man out.
R.I.P. Jake. But something that was kind of wild is the fact that, like, Jake, as far as I can tell, Jake leaves the ring, but it didn't look like he brought the Damien bag with him, which I was like, are we about to have, like, Chekhov's Damien here? But no, he's just kind of like, not there.
Grabbed it off screen or something.
Okay, yeah, sure.
No, but Roddy, he nearly gets DiBiase out, but Savage saves him again. They do admit on commentary that DiBiase gets so much help not to lose, to not get eliminated.
Oh yeah,
in this match.
He's definitely like working smart in this one. Of as soon as like someone else who aligns with him morally comes in, he's like, all right, I'm a step back a little bit and let you take care of this.
Yeah, number 10 out is Dusty Rhodes. And
he's the dream, Daddy.
Throwing them elbows at Savage.
Beeline straight for Savage. And oh my God, he beelines for Savage. He fucks up Savage, and then he yeets Savage out of this match. Dream is like, oh, sorry, King. I don't think you're gonna be in this match anymore, Daddy.
No. So Bad News Brown tries to set up Dusty Rhodes to get its clotheslined over by Savage, but then Dusty just ducks and Savage gets tossed out instead. So yeah, Randy Savage, crazy enough, is the 4th man gone in this match.
You gotta get out of here, Daddy. We don't need no fake kings in this ring here, Daddy.
The man who was the WWE champion, but a year before at this show.
Fuck you, man. Your name's not Hulk Hogan. Get out of here. We don't like your kind here. Former champions.
I don't think he was even in the match last year. I think. Let me check this, but I think Hulk Hogan might be the first WWE champion to be in the Rumble match.
Of course he was.
Let's see here. No, Randy was in it, and he was eliminated by, you guessed it, Hulk Hogan.
Man, those fucking mega powers, huh?
Yeah, and we'll tie into that later, I think.
Yeah.
Roddy is trying to solo the Warlord. It's not really working.
Warlord has spent 90% of his time in this match being pushed up against the ropes by people just doing vain attempts to solo knock him out.
And don't worry, though, we won't have to deal with the Warlord much longer. As number 11 is Andre the Giant. Warlord immediately goes to attack Andre, and Andre with one arm chucks Warlord out of the ring.
Andre says, fuck a you.
5th man out. No problem at all. And then at that point, Bobby Heenan, because all the managers have stayed at ringside throughout this match, Bobby Heenan tries to yell at Fuji to get out now that his man's out. And Fuji turns and threatens to hit Bobby Heenan with a cane.
Dude,
Bobby backs off.
Is Fuji a face right now?
I don't think so. I think they are both. I
Because
think
like
this is a heel v heel confrontation.
that's so wild. Because you would think like if someone's going up against Heenan like that, they gotta be a good guy, right? God damn.
No, they had this. They did have this bit on the Brother Love show a few weeks back on Superstars, where all the heel managers with stables got together and just shit talked each other about who's gonna win the Rumble. Like Heenan
The
ran down
roast.
every fucking other. He ran down like Jimmy Hart and Slick and Sherry and Fuji. He ran them all down on the Brother Love
Fucking
show. So
oh shit, Heenan out here making enemies. Oh, but he is the heeliest of the heels, but it doesn't make anyone less heel. Got it, got it, got it, got it.
yep. Andre fight basically is Dusty Rhodes and Roddy Piper become like, okay, we're gonna fight Andre. We got to get him out of here. But Andre's holding his own 2-on-1.
Fucking Andre, that dude, this entire match, like it's the story of every battle royal that features Andre, which is at some point you're just gonna get all these motherfuckers who are like, I'm so tired of Andre being here. Please God, let's just
And to
get rid of
think,
him.
and honestly, he's not even the guy in that match they do that with. Not really.
It's more Warlord in that case.
Oh,
At
there's
least at
one
the
guy
beginning.
there's one guy who is like every fucker is like, we're just gonna collectively get him out right now. Like Andre is not that guy in this Rumble, incredibly. Number 12, the Red Rooster.
Yes.
The first time seeing him, David, because he has not gotten any promo time at all.
And fucking dude, yo, you can tell this man is so deeply unimportant because Shivani
This plucking
just
little
sounds.
bitch.
Shivani is so deeply unenthusiastic to announce him. He's like, and here comes the Red Rooster, and
Dusty Rhodes
enters
almost
to.
immediately grabs Rooster and throws him out. He
Ooh,
doesn't succeed, but like Dusty almost throws him out immediately. I was like, Jesus
I never liked Roosters, Daddy. I'm more of a chicken
So
guy myself.
So, meanwhile, Roddy Piper and Bad News Brown have gone to fight each other over by the ringside. Roddy gets close, but he does get Bad News Brown out of the match. And then Bad News Brown just decides to grab Roddy Piper and pull him over the top rope. And apparently, this also counts as elimination.
Oof, Allen also. I mean, he went over the top rope and he hit the floor. That is the rules.
I would call it the most controversial rule that they let happen in the Royal Rumble, up there with guys who are allowed to just hang out at ringside for 30 minutes.
Absolutely.
Is letting people who are not legally in the match eliminate people. It's not a big deal here necessarily, but especially when you look at guys who are in factions or are just petty assholes like Bad News Brown, it's like, why? Why will we get eliminated? Why do you just leave?
It's one of those tricky things of like that if you started to actually like think about those while watching the match, it would fuck it up because like as soon as you start thinking about any of the like practical considerations of the rules, like the entire logic of the Royal Rumble match, like falls like all the in-ring psychology just falls to fucking pieces. But like I feel like trying to stipulate on it and like specify it would be to the detriment of the match because then you draw attention to like all the ways that could be exploited and start people thinking of like why people would behave remotely irrationally in this match that it's actually really easy to game the system. I don't know, like yes, and also like I feel like this is one of those like you kind of have to turn your brain off a little because like I don't think the way this match works could allow for the brain to be um really I don't think there's like a way to do it in that lets you like satisfy every hypothetical what if rules fuckery scenario that there could be. I don't know.
Man, all right. But Roddy and Brown brawl up the ramp, and this is setting up a feud at WrestleMania 6 that I'll just go ahead and say it. We're not going to watch because it would be a
Oof.
pain in the ass to find it. As
No.
essentially, as part of the story, Roddy for WrestleMania 6 does half blackface. He body paints half of his entire body black. And I don't
What?
remember the specific idea he's going for with this. But
yes. I also love Victor Victoria.
It got the Peacock accent all the same. So that whole promo and that whole match are just gone from WrestleMania 6 on Peacock. And I admittedly think it would be too big of a pain in the ass to find it and re-implement it into the paper us watching WrestleMania 6.
Yeah. No.
That
I
happened.
don't wanna.
It happened, and that is why it is gone forever in the ether.
Based and red-pilled. What the fuck?
Anywho, number 13 out is Axe of Demolition.
Oh, Axe. Okay.
You can
I could not remember his name.
Which is which because Axe is the one with the bald spot.
See, I'll be honest, I forgot that his name was Axe at all. Like, I just forgot that the other half of Demolition was named Axe. So when I saw that, like, Demolition Crash came out later, I assumed that this must be Demolition Smash, because, I don't know, it rhymes.
It is Axe and Smash.
Okay, Axe and Smash.
Crush, I think, would partially be a Demolition adjacent person.
Okay. So, either way, Demolition Axe is here and wearing his finest kink harness straight from the dungeon.
Yep, correct. And in the meantime, Andre casually just throws Red Rooster the fuck out of the match. Get out of here.
This is the point where I kind of comment, at least for me, again, this might have been that I was just like tired the fuck out. Like I said, the storytelling for the Rumble has devolved a little bit. It's not the tight affair that it was when we had the 2v2 earlier, but it's still cooking a little bit.
It's going into more traditional, like everyone just punching everybody else. Rumble thawing. Though they do try to anchor that, like, the story beat to follow here is now like Axe is here and he's got beef with Andre because they took the Andre and Haku beat Demolition for the tag belts recently.
Yes.
So like Demolition versus Haku and Andre become like a big story thread throughout the middle part of this match.
Okay, that's fair. That was one that I didn't process as much, so it was harder. Like I knew I knew the big storylines and kind of the like lower level storylines. It was harder for me to follow. So that probably like made it a little less engaging for me too.
But an Axe knocks Andre to the ground. Like he just beats Andre up solo, and Andre is on his knees. This is also note while they're fighting that Weasel chants break out for the Bobby Heenan because he is the Weasel.
Sure. I thought he was the Brain, but okay.
Well, he calls himself the Brain, but the fans and especially Gorilla Monsoon call him a Weasel.
I see. Many people are saying this.
He's had multiple matches where like he has to wrestle, and when he loses, he is required to dress up in a Weasel costume for humiliation.
What the fuck? Sure. Fucking while this whole Axe and Andre thing is going on, Dusty and Brett are like double teaming on Ted DiBiase, and man, I'm gonna call bullshit on this. There's no way that Ted DiBiase would not get his whole ass thrown out by Brett and Dusty combined.
Well, I think the justification on this is Dusty decides to just quit. Just go fight Andre.
Even before Dusty quits, they have a solid 30 seconds where Dusty and Brett are like actively pushing from under him.
Well, you want to talk.
He's holding on to the ropes.
I mean, you want to talk about the thing you got to shut your brain off about is like people just hanging on the fucking ropes in Royal Rumble matches for a very
I know, but like it's
dramatically lengthy amount of times.
But it's especially obvious here with like the clear like power combination of Brett and Dusty Rhodes. trying to yeet the guy whose whole thing is that he is very annoyed about being the first guy in, but he's trying to survive all the way. So like it draws attention to it a little bit more. But yeah, man, I did not have many spot notes for the next several. I did not have any spot notes for like the next several entrants. So if you got anything, I'm down to
Okay,
hear it.
I do have some. So this is when Andre gets tied up in the ropes and he gets double teamed by Axe and Dusty. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
yeah. Number 14, though, is Haku is here to save
Yes, Haku
Andre's
is here.
ass.
Uh-huh.
They kind of
Team
split
buddies,
off
as you know.
They split off into 3 different 1v1s of Andre versus Axe, Haku versus Dusty, and DiBiase versus Brett. Dusty does his jabs to Haku and then immediately goes and collapses in the corner.
Ooh. Oh yeah, I did catch that. I saw him kind of flop, and I'm like, oh, he tired.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little tucked out, daddy.
But now the Colossal Connection is beating down on Axe, but don't worry, number 15 is Smash
is here. Halfway there, baby.
Yeah, so now it is Demolition is now a unit in this Rumble for until they get broken up, really. They basically do everything as a tag team for the rest of their time in the Rumble.
Ooh. Yeah, they did, didn't they?
They're fighting off the Colossal Connection. Dusty and Brett are going back to fighting DiBiase. I read him. Demolition targets DiBiase. Dusty and Brett targets Andre. Haku is the enforcer to save the heels. He just kind of keeps showing up to the baby faces double teaming the heels. Haku shows up to be like, nope, not going out yet.
Yeah. But then.
And then number 16, Akeem, the African Dream, is here. Akeem goes after Andre. And then the big thing, though, is that Demolition come and Demolition work together and knock Andre over the ropes and out of the match. Andre is only the 9th person out of the match.
Yeah, rip in pieces. He fucking, man, when you get shoved to that mid card, man, how the mightiest will fall.
And notably, though, is off screen, and I'll admit I rewound several times to catch when this even happened. But while they're doing this entire bit where Demolition and Andre and Haku are fighting, Bret Hart gets chopped over the ropes by Dusty Rhodes and eliminated.
Oh shit! Yeah, I completely missed the Bret elimination. I got lost track of quite a few eliminations here.
So did the commentary team. They are the commentator's like, oh shit, Bret was eliminated while we were dealing with that Demolition Andre stuff. And so
when did that happen?
I rewound as far as I could go to see when Bret got thrown out and by whom. And Dusty threw him out to take him out, number 10 there.
Nice.
So now we're down to six men yet again until Jimmy Snuka is here at number 17.
Boo. He comes out and Shivani's like, Snuka's here, just listen to that crowd. And honestly, this gigantic crowd didn't seem to actually pop all that much for Snuka. So
yeah,
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but based.
Snuka was a top baby face from before this time, right? He was a top baby face. Where's about 83 and 84? The very end of Bob Backlund's time and right at the beginning of Hulk Hogan's time is probably Jimmy Snuka's peak as a babyface character in his own right. And he's kind of lost a lot of steam since time has gone on. But Snuka does do one good thing in this match. He does some jumping clothesline thing and eliminates Akeem.
Yeah, fucking rest in piss, Hakeem. The only the worst, the fucking second worst person you know, or the worst person you know. I fucking actually no. It's tough because Hakeem as a character sucks and Snuka as a person sucks. So fuck Snuka, but also thank you for getting rid of stupid white fake African piss boy. Jesus Christ.
Thing I even note about Akeem is that he had a brief fight with Dusty Rhodes here, And I was like, Akeem the African Dream versus Dusty Rhodes the American Dream.
The American Dream. I see what they're going for, and it's fucking moronic.
Anyway, Demolition tries to go after Snuka, but Haku saves his fellow Pacific Islander.
Yes.
DiBiase and Dusty Rhodes are fighting on their knees in the background.
Nice. I missed that.
And then number 18 is Dino Bravo.
Yes, fucking
the
Dino Bravo.
Strongest man before Mark Henry took that gimmick.
Well, Dino Bravo came out and with Jimmy Hart in tow, and Jimmy Hart, of course, has now done his like 5th costume change of the night.
Yeah, he's got like the Quebec flag on his shirt for these people, for Dino.
Absolutely.
And Earthquake. They nearly get Demolition nearly gets rid of DiBiase, and Dino saves his ass. Number 19, the Canadian Earthquake is here.
And he's stomping.
Earthquake, this is so funny to me. Earthquake immediately gets in the ring, immediately starts doing his like jumpy stomp thing. Axe walks up to him as if he's about to attack Earthquake and then doesn't. But he like stands behind him and watches him do like the stomp, stomp, stomp thing. He starts stomping the hell around, and he throws Dusty out to be the 12th elimination. And then Demolition try to attack Earthquake, and Earthquake lifts up Axe and throws him out of the ring.
Yo.
13-man out. And then, okay, this is when Haku steps to Earthquake in a heel v heel way. And he's like, all right, listen, brother, we got to get you out of here right now. We're done.
Wait, Earthquake is heel too? I thought he was face.
Jimmy Hart, none of Jimmy Hart's men are people or baby faces.
Oh, fuck, you're right. You're right. Shit. I thought he got like kind of a pot. I don't fucking know.
A little bit. I mean, it's the Earthquake stuff is kind of fun, but he is a heel. And like before Haku tries to fight off Earthquake and gets his ass whooped for it. Number 20, Jim Neidhart is here now, and Neidhart goes straight for Earthquake. And now we watch as baby faces and heels decide to make peace to get the fucking Earthquake out of here.
As you should.
All 6 of them, Smash, Haku, Jim Neidhart, Jimmy Snuka, Ted DiBiase, and Dino Bravo, all kind of jump in to help throw Earthquake out.
Yes. They're all like, and then everyone else is like, hey, wait, DiBiase's still here. Fuck this guy.
Wait a minute.
Hey, hold up a second.
And then number 21, dun, 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 dun. It's the Ultimate Warrior.
Warrior.
Something I find interesting is that all of the giants that would stereotypically you'd think would be something for Hogan or Warrior to deal with, all of them are gone before Hogan or Warrior even show up. Like no Andre, no Akeem, no Earthquake.
Well, fucking what else? The other thing I want to mention too is like it feels like DiBiase is supposed to be the kind of like final boss, at least of a large amount of this. Like he is the ultimate main antagonist, and so I feel like you couldn't book those giants to be as powerful as they normally would if you want DiBiase to kind of be your central bad guy of this, right? Like he is he's fucking the man to beat because he's dicking around this whole time. I will say in one of many Royal Rumble just turn your brain off moments, Neidhart and Smash actually not Smash, Axe. Wait.
No, Axe is out. It's Smash.
Smash, it is Smash. Okay. No, Neidhart and Smash lift up DiBiase on their shoulders right next to the rope, and I'm like, oh, he's gone. But instead of just throwing him out of the ring, they just power bomb him back to the center. It's like, no, you could have. Why
you're going in the wrong way.
That's the wrong direction. Yeah, but yes, Warrior, and the crowd loses its fucking mind as the Warrior runs in and immediately throws out Dino Bravo.
Yeah, they botched this move because he does the thing where he lifts him up and throws him over, and they miss the timing of it to get on for Bravo to get on
Okay,
Warrior's shoulders, but they do
I
get him
thought
out of
I
there.
caught that. I
No,
thought I
yeah.
caught that. Oh my god, that's funny.
So the
All right.
15 men are half the field's gone now. 15 up, 15 are down. And
Yep.
so
Rick Martel
War
also shows up, and everyone's like, "K."
well, Ted DiBiase in his most bullshit not eliminated moment of the match. Neidhart and Warrior have DiBiase on the ropes. It's over. And then Neidhart and Warrior just start punching each other instead, and DiBiase rolls away into the corner.
Ah, yes, DiBiase. Fucking, he executed his silver tongue money. He's like, hey, I'll pay you all like $200 to fight each other instead. And their fucking eyes roll back in their head, and they're like, must fight my ally.
Jesse Ventura spends a lot of the match calling Warrior an idiot for his tactical decisions. This is, in fact, one of those moments.
Yeah, and you know what? True.
Yeah, number 22 out is the Rick the Model Martel. Martel, and the only thing interesting really here is that Haku kicks Smash off the apron to take him out of the match, so Demolition is completely gone. And Martel nearly gets himself eliminated by Neidhart, but he just barely hangs onto the apron here.
Oh, get
Number
this
20
jabroni out of here.
Well, don't worry. Number 23 is Tito Santana, who immediately goes
Yes.
after Rick Martel. Thank you for reminding me of this, Jesse Ventura, but they used to be a tag team together. Tito Santana and Rick Martel. So they're fighting each other for pretty much the rest of their time in the match.
Our first and only former tag team in this fucking match that are actually like turning on each other again. They're former tag team, but for as much as all these fucking people were talking up to brother turning against brother, it's every man for himself. I think this is the only tag team we actually see like really fight each other in this entire, like, the only faction that goes to war against itself.
Also, Jesse Ventura resolutely refuses to call Tito Santana by his name, instead referring to him as Chico Santana.
Thank you. I guarantee it's just because he didn't fucking know his name. And you know what? Understandable. Have a nice day.
So DiBiase nearly eliminated again, but this time, and they mentioned several times on commentary this has been happening, is in several of these like DiBiase's in the ropes moments, Virgil is running over and pushing DiBiase back into the ring.
Ooh. That's that is one I missed, but that is at least a slightly less bullshit shenanigans way of keeping DiBiase in for longer. Because Virgil's fucking hanging out valet style this entire time. I was surprised he didn't have his own entrance in the Rumble. He was just kind of there.
For now, he is just a valet. Number 24, the Honky Tonk Man is finally here. It's time to finally play some hits.
Yeah,
except
fucking what, 16, 17 hits short of what he said he was gonna hit, because all these motherfuckers are gone, but okay.
16 men are already out of this match. So no. And immediately Warrior starts fighting Honky Tonk Man. I wrote, in a big kerfuffle with Martel, Warrior, and DiBiase, Neidhart is thrown out, because I can't even tell what exactly happened here. They were all just kind of wrestling each other in the ropes, and Neidhart fell out. So Neidhart is out, and then after 44 minutes, Ultimate Warrior clotheslines Ted DiBiase, number 18, out of the match.
Oof, ow, and also owie. But also, like, it is interesting that fucking DiBiase did get to hold on for that long, and they did kind of make this story out of how much how much fuckery there was last time, and how he kind of was forced to make an honest man out of himself a little bit this time.
He was gutting it out in this run.
Yeah, and so it made for this kind of cool it's perfect too, because Warrior yeets MDM with the fucking clothesline. So um the warm-up boss has been defeated, which means like fucking clockwork. I am
Done.
a real
Hogan is here.
American.
I'm not working
Fight for
with
the
I'm not working with DiBiase, dude. That's your brony DiBiase brother. You gotta get out of the ring before I show up, dude.
Well, like even if Hogan was like politicking backstage, like I don't want to fucking work DiBiase, dude. Fucking, it did make for a great. And see, this is what kind of fucked with me. Okay, so I am aware of the reason, Austin, that you and I are here. I am aware of the arc that we are pursuing and the end point of this arc. And so in this, pretty tightly structured match, even if my tired ass tuned out for like the middle chunk of it because I just didn't know half these storylines, I thought, okay, so Warrior comes in, and DiBiase is the motherfucker to beat right now. Warrior comes in, fucks around a bit, and then gets DiBiase out. And now it's Hogan's turn. Okay, so the story of this is the Warrior Hogan moment, which means if Warrior came in and fucked up DiBiase as this kind of like, opening preparatory boss, that means like he and the final boss in Hulk Hogan have to have like a legendary showdown through to the end of this thing.
Well,
Well,
some of that is true.
yeah,
Hogan comes out at 25, and Hogan is like, I'm here to clean out the ring, brother.
Yeah, Hogan cleans house, takes it down to only 4 competitors.
Well, okay, it goes down like this. Snuka goes for Hogan. Hogan just immediately throws him out.
Yep.
Hogan goes for Haku, and then Big Boots him, and Haku is out. Tito does an atomic drop onto Martel, surprisingly not out if this. Hogan beats the shit out of Honky Tonk Man, then he rips his shirt off.
As you do.
Warrior tries to chuck Rick Martel and Tito Santana out at the same time. He only gets out Tito in that moment. Honky Tonk Man is choking Hogan with his own shirt. Then comes number 26, Shawn Michaels. Hogan tosses Honky Tonk Man out at 22. Congratulations, Honky. You played no hits tonight. Warrior throws out Shawn Michaels almost immediately. Again, we are in this phase where Marty Jannetty is the bright, shining star, future star of the Rockers, as Marty is the one who gets a good showing on Ted DiBiase in the early part of the match, and Shawn Michaels is thrown out nearly immediately.
Gone in an instant. That was right after so that, funny.
We throw out Shawn. Warrior throws out Rick Martel, and there's only 2 men left in the ring now. It's the stare down, Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior.
Yes, and they do the like face pushed up against face thing. They're about to kiss, and they're chattering to each other. I think it's like Hogan pushes Warrior, and they just start going the fuck to town.
Yeah, they do some basics. They do some shoving. They do some shoulder bumps. They do crisscross, applesauce, run the ropes. It ends with them clotheslining each other, and both men go down. So, just enough to tease you and make you want to see these guys go at it a little bit more.
I will say it does like create, this nice kind of cool preview for what a full rivalry between the two of them could really look like. Which is it's cool and it looks cool, and like as a teaser for things to come, it's sick. And also, knowing the extent of either of these men's movesets, it does dampen the effect knowing that like there's not going to be much variety past this little preview that we're getting.
Much more we're going to get with them.
They're work rating too hard. They're blowing all of their like possible combos of moves against each other in like 30 seconds.
The outcomes at 27, the Barbarian to
The
ruin all
Barbarian's
of
here, I
this.
guess.
The
And I'm
Barbarian
like,
is like,
okay, Barbarian's here to make things look dangerous for our final two. Oh
yeah, they're
no.
here to drop some elbows on both of them. Be like, yeah, taking advantage. Rick Rude
Yeah.
runs out early at 28.
Early, dumb fuck botches his entrance, and commentary has to be like, he just ran out early. Oh, okay, that's a thing you could do. Cause that had to have been a botch, right? Like, cause that was way too pointless to be a
Yeah,
scripted moment.
he runs out, and then the 10-second countdown clock pops on the screen,
And
and
then
then
it
they
just
quickly
disappears.
take it off. They're like, wait, fuck.
Or hold up a second.
So then it's 2v2ing again. Barbarian takes on Hogan. Rude takes on Warrior.
Yeah.
Barbarian and Rude almost get Hogan out of the match, but Warrior grabs Rude and stops him. And Jesse Ventura is like, what the fuck are you doing, Warrior? Why are you helping Hogan?
Have you not been paying attention to this entire Rumble, you dipshit? Morality lines are in full play here.
Okay,
well, mostly.
So what happens next? Barbarian knocks Hogan down. And so he's like, okay, I'm going to go fight the Warrior. But Hogan mostly no-sells this. And so
of course,
Barbarian and Rude have Warrior on the ropes. Hogan runs over, bumps them all, and Warrior goes out of the ring.
Yeah, okay. So this is where shit got this is the moment, Austin, that I realized, oh wait, this is 1990, and I was booking this
Hulk Hogan show.
I was booking this with 2023 sensibilities. We were actually intelligent about the feuds that you want to build up. Because what made sense to me was what gets this feud really a rumbling, right? Is that Hogan and Warrior make it to the final two. Like they have to, they square up a little bit, and then they fight off a bunch of other dudes who are there to make it look dangerous and to force them to work together a little bit. But then they're back to being the final two, and they go at it. It's crazy, and maybe even Warrior beats Hulk, and that would be such an upset. That is an instant rivalry right there with like insane ramifications. Because that's what made sense to me. What I failed to consider was Hulk Hogan never wins or never loses, brother. That's not going to work for him.
I got a better idea for you, dude. Is what's going to happen, brother, is I'm going to accidentally knock Warrior out of the match, dude. And Jesse Ventura will be like, I betrayed Ultimate Warrior, brother. And that's how we start the feud, brother. Instead of Ultimate Warrior beating me or something, dude. That's not going to happen, brother.
They were so clearly okay with fighting each other. So how is that a betrayal?
Well, Jesse always takes the worst possible interpretation of Hogan.
So I get it, because pitting Hogan and Warrior against each other here still stands as a cool preview to what's to come. But as an instigator for a feud, I fail to see how it's like any more compelling than any other feud that could be started out of just one dude eliminating another from the Royal Rumble here. It's not as it's not quite as not quite as powerful as it could have been story-wise. But he causes some quick shenanigans on his way out. I even forget what the fuck he does. He fucks with Barbarian, I think.
He kind of runs in the ring and hits everybody and then leaves.
Yeah.
He didn't even throw anybody out. He just leaves.
Yeah. And then, so the mildest of shenanigans, and then Rick Rude is here too, I guess. Oh no, that's already happened. Hercules is here too, I guess.
He is the most like I didn't need to see you this late in this match, man. Like,
yeah, I know.
We are in the end game of this match, narratively speaking. Who fucking cares about Hercules?
Why are you this is supposed to be for important people, Hercules. Get out of here.
Yeah, because then number 30 is Mr. Perfect. And he's feuding with Hulk, and he immediately goes for Hulk Hogan. And then Hercules back body drops Barbarian out of the ring, just as there was a malfunction at the junction with Rude and Barbarian.
Ooh, the
Final
the malfunctioniest.
The final four are Hulk Hogan, Hercules, Mr. Perfect, and Rick Rude. One of these things is very much not like the other. And that says something because Rude almost immediately tosses Hercules out, having
I know,
accomplished nothing. It is
not a
now
single damn thing.
classic. It is now classic two heels versus one Hogan situation.
Yeah, Perfect and Rude try to double team Hogan, which I'm sure is gonna go just fine for them.
I will admit, this is one of the more clever ways I could have imagined them resolving the issue of like two heels versus one Hogan. Is basically
Oh, I don't like how you said that. Two heels, one Hogan, coming soon to Pornhub.
no, thank you.
I'm so sorry.
Anyway, Rude tries to double team Hogan, malfunction at the junction again. Perfect gets knocked through the middle rope, so he's not out. And then Hogan throws Rick Rude towards the ropes, and Mr. Perfect is trying to climb back in the ring. And in pulling down the ropes for him to do that, Rick Rude falls out of the ring.
Oh.
So Perfect accidentally, in a very organic kind of way, accidentally gets Rude eliminated.
They sure fucking malfuncted that junk did.
But now it's down to Hulk Hogan and Mr. Perfect, and Perfect is doing his best. He really
do
is.
an admittedly sick spot. I think this was right after Rude's elimination. They do this admittedly pretty sick spot where because Perfect is like standing on the apron holding the rope. Hogan is standing at the rope from inside the ring. Hogan fucking like pulls on the rope, and Perfect like it's supposedly in response to the massive force of Hogan pulling on this rope. He like fucking front flips his way back into the ring. That actually looked pretty sick. They executed that pretty well.
Perfect lays into Hogan. He hits the perfect plex, and Hogan immediately hulks up and no sells it.
Yeah,
it's pretty.
It was a very non-traditional. It was a very non-traditional Hulk up sequence. We didn't even get a "you" out of it.
It's weird. It's kind of weird because like Hogan, for all his no selly horse shit, he usually doesn't do that to finishers, which is what the perfect plex is.
Oh God, Hogan's starting to Flanderize himself.
Anyway, Hogan, like monkey flips Perfect head first into the ring post, and then he just chucks Perfect out of the ring and wins.
Pretty much. R.I.P.
It took them 2 tries, but Hulk Hogan has won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I don't know why I expected any different. I can't believe I actually let myself come in with the expectation that fucking Ultimate Warrior actually beats Hogan here. I can't believe I actually fucking thought maybe that's what we were going for. Why am I such a fool, Austin? Why did I allow myself?
Well, there's still almost 3 minutes left on this here broadcast.
Yeah, we gotta get a requisite.
It's a hot dogging time. He
Hogan
immediately finds some blanket that's in the crowd that says Hulkamania will live forever.
And he just snaps it. He's like, "That's mine now, dude."
Jesse Ventura is still like, Hogan, you turncoat bitch, for how you eliminated the Warrior.
Based.
And yeah, Hulk Hogan has won the Royal Rumble in 1990, but the seeds have been
the champion.
As the champion, he has also won the Rumble. But the seeds for this stuff with the Warrior have been planted even beyond this match. They keep circling each other in promos and being like, the one guy here really want to test myself against is the other guy.
Okay.
Warrior, I mean, it's like the Warrior promo from earlier. If you could, the 28 normal men plus Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan walks around with a different force field and all that.
You got that plot armor, man. No, like I get it, and like That's a fair enough thing to build this rivalry on, but man, it could have been so in what is otherwise such a tightly plotted Rumble, just resorting to this dumb fuck Hogan wins LOL in the last with the last few competitors is so annoying.
It's about what I expected.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it less annoying. Anyway.
Royal Rumble 1990, I enjoyed the Rumble match.
It's all right.
Even if it dissolved into Hogan wins LOL. Everything else,
Yeah.
no. Why?
I was kind of here for Genius versus Barber. I was here a little bit for it.
I was here for Mr. Perfect being extremely based and correct that Brutus
true.
Beefcake is trying to take advantage of people, unconscious people, and assault them and cut their hair.
Yeah, some bullshit,
somebody
brother.
Should stand up for that.
He didn't consent to Lucha Stay Places, dude.
No, he did not consent to this hair cutting shit. That's the thing too. Is it like it's not even like people are agreeing to matches with Beefcake where if you lose you'll get your hair cut. He just like threatens it. He like threatens to if I beat you I'm gonna cut your hair.
And they're like, no, and he's like, fuck you.
I'm doing it anyway. What are you gonna do about it?
Fuck you, he's like, you know what you're getting into with me. That's close enough to being okay with it. And also, I don't care, because I'm a dick, even though I'm a face. I'm a fuck. Oh my god, you can get away with anything as a babyface. You can get away with anything as a babyface.
Having a match with me is consent to getting your hair cut.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Anyway, yeah, so that has been the Royal Rumble 1990. We'll be back here as we continue the road to WrestleMania 6. We got a couple of adverts for that on this show. April 1st at the Sky Dome in Toronto.
Yeah, they're going fucking over to Canada. I love how like this day and age, especially for like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm used to AEW, but I feel like when companies go like international to Canada or somewhere else of that periphery, it's like this whole thing now of like we're stopping by outside the U.S., but here they're just like so casual, like, yeah, we're going to Canada. Yeah, we'll be there next week. See you guys there. It's no big thing.
Yeah, goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be back here soon enough to continue on that for WrestleMania 6. But for next time, we are back in Lucha Underground instead.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I had a thought yesterday of like, fuck, it's been a hot minute since we've been in Lucha Underground. It feels like we've been away
right
for
on
too long from the temple.
As we continue on the road to season 2, and I don't have the notes in front of me of what the next episode is about, but
that's just fine. It's gonna be good shit no matter what, because it's Lucha Underground and everything it does is good shit.
Oh yeah, Cuerno has to put his belt on the line because he pissed off. Oh
yeah. Yeah, something like that. Oh yeah. She's like, you dare cross me? Fuck you. Anyway.
Yep, so that is for next time. Until then, David, hit our plugs.
Yes, sir. Dear friends, thank you all so much for joining us in yet another episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast. We are so delighted to have you here. If you're a returning listener or viewer, what have you, you know the drill. Thank you so much for once again welcoming us back into your eardrums, your eyeballs, whatever the hell it is you use to consume our content. It's great to have you here. We hope you had a great time with us, and just keep on coming back. We love you guys. But hey, hi, new people. Hey, how's it going? Thank you so much for being here. We here at the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast like to think we are friendly to both noobs and knockouts alike. So whether you're brand new to the wild, wacky world of wrestling or you're a veteran of all the weird bullshit, either way, we hope you've enjoyed yourself. We hope things felt accessible to you here. We hope you feel welcome here, and we hope you want to keep coming back to hang out with us week after week, and I will tell you all the ways you can do so. First of all, you can find us on YouTube. We are the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on YouTube. Hit subscribe. Ring that bell. Make sure it turns a nice little solid color so you get notifications every single time we drop a brand new episode. Check out our playlist because Austin has been kind enough to organize all the arcs that we follow into their own separate playlists, so you can follow something all the way down without having to skip around a whole hell of a lot. It's great. You can see our lovely, beautiful faces and our sweet, like fancy HUD. It's just a great time. Come check it out on the YouTube Noobs and Knockouts podcast. But of course, if you're a fan of the audio only experience, we understand that as well, brother. You can absolutely come join us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts, 3 of the best places to find your podcast. Naturally, give us a listen there. Download our show if you're so inclined. Maybe give us a nice little 5-star rating if you like, and maybe even a review that says these guys are pretty cool. And I don't know, maybe more people should be listening to them. I'm just saying, and it's a suggestion. No matter if you want to watch or just listen, we got something for you. Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on YouTube, on Spotify, on Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Of course, though, we exist on this in the world past this little void that we find ourselves in every single week. You can find us on a few different places on the interwebs. Primarily, of course, is our Twitter. You can find us at Noobs and Knoxpod on Twitter. That's at Noobs, the letter N, Knoxpod on Twitter. Come say hi to us there. We post memes. We engage in discourse. We put up a post every single time we drop a brand new episode, so you guys always know what the hell's going on. Of course, the highlight of our Twitter is weekly wrestling live tweeting every Wednesday night at least every Wednesday night. We can make it work. It's been kind of hectic recently, but in theory, every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on TBS. We are watching AEW Dynamite and tweeting all about that good shit. And then, on Fridays, too, if we're feeling especially frisky, we are watching what else? AEW Rampage at 10 p.m. Eastern on TNT. It is the show that y'all been waiting on, and we love to tweet about it. I know y'all been waiting on me to tweet about it again. Look, I'm in a show. Get off my ass. But we try. On top of all of that, of course, Austin, being the knockout that he is a man who catches up with all of the major company pay-per-views and even tweets about those sometimes. So, my friend, please, what is on the docket coming up?
Sure. For the WWE, not really watching that right now since Vince McMahon came back to the company as part of this
motherfucker.
But I guess it would be. I would consider it unfair to not mention at least the monthly pay-per-view events. Saturday, May 6th is WWE Backlash. The last show before all this draft shit they got going on TV right now takes effect. You got Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline, Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar, Rhea Ripley versus Selena Vega for the SmackDown title. More on that in a second. Seth Rollins versus Omos. Theory versus Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed for the U.S. title. Bianca Belair versus Io Sky for the Raw title. That's interesting because Bianca and Io have both been drafted to SmackDown. So
interesting.
What they are probably going to do is just have Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair do a belt exchange.
Sure. I guess
that's the lamest way you could resolve that issue.
That's really lame.
Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest in a San Juan street fight.
Oh,
let's go.
Because it takes place in San Juan.
Yep. Let's go.
Outstanding.
Now for AEW upcoming for them on May 28th, Double or Nothing. Right now we got one
match.
We got MJF versus...
Dude. Oh, so sorry. Go on. Then I'll say my thing.
MJF versus Sammy Guevara for now for the world.
For title. Now, they insist. Oh boy, do they insist that it's not going to be a 4 pillars, and I find that really hard to believe. And I'm gonna be a little upsetty if that actually ends up being the truth. I will say I'm very excited. I'm going to the Detroit show next week. A week from. By the time this episode drops, it'll be technically next week. I'm going to the Detroit show on May 10th, and they've already fucking announced Moxley versus Omega in a steel fucking cage. I'm so excited. These fucking with the goddamn Detroit shows, they're like cage matches. Why it's so good? I think I'll have it a second time.
Pretty mad you're gonna get to see Kenny by God Omega.
Kenny, I hear the battle cry.
Yeah, I'm so mad that you're going to hear the battle cry. All right, for Impact Wrestling, July 15th is Slammiversary, their big anniversary show. So you
Ooh,
can check
we
that
do
out
love a good
going forward.
Slammiversary.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, it's a be sure to check all that out, folks. We like to tell you guys about the pay-per-views because especially if you're like of the noobish persuasion, the pay-per-views are just a great way or a great little jumping on point. They are almost always guaranteed to be like fantastic shows or at the very least like big bombastic fun dumb shows. Great kind of introduction to the art form and like a lot of big feuds are wrapping up and new things are getting kicked off. It's just a wonderful jumping on point. So we like to tell you guys about it and you know, just generally join us over on the Twitter if you like listening to us ramble about wrestling for multiple hours on end for some reason. You'll like it over there as well. The voices carry over, and you know, like we're pretty cool dudes to hang out with, even in a virtual setting. So at Noobs and Knox Pod on the Twitter is where you'll find that. Of course, if you want to get more direct, long form contact with us, because you know that pesky old Twitter character limit, you can email us, which has 0 character limits. Fucking you can hit us up at noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. That's noobs the word and knockoutspod@gmail.com. Come say hi to us there. Tell us what you think about the show. Request things you want to see us cover on the show. Tell us how based and red pill our hot takes are, how fucking stupid we sound. Either way, just start discourse, say hi. We love people saying hi. We would love to say hi back. Noobs and knockoutspod@gmail.com. Of course, finally, we are also on Patreon. If you want to like kind of more directly support this show monetarily, cha-ching, cha-ching, you can find us on the Patreon. The link for that is in our Twitter. $1 a month gets you early access to episodes and then a shout out at the end of each episode. Shout out as always to who else? The Sugar Daddy, Kyle Smith, friend of the show, for being our most loyal of patrons. Thank you, buddy. I hope you appreciate your perks. He's right out there doing something. I hope he's appreciating his perks right now. And if you want to enjoy your perks along with our boy Kyle, you can do so. Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on Patreon. The link for that again is in our Twitter.
See y'all next time.
Hasta luego.